person, and then you ahemfo already 22 years. You ahemfo already 68 years. Obeko sanko for the chrome no na ahemfo ahene already 22 years no. Ni chrome impunti o hoche ohene na already 68 years. Sanke beka succession plan de nanka wo sanke de and also the vice versa. Obeko ekrobis no ohene bi already 68 sebio 82 enim so ya akokora no ni chrome development e ho echen ohene ayi ni young chiefer ni chrome bibian koso galamse koso. It is not about the individual or the age. It's about what you bring to board, what you bring on board to do to help. Now they want to play that card. Say, Mahame nyini, Professor Nano Poko ajime nyini, na baomia young. Na wusa no we jimia. Yanchema umbe nyini ba jimi for ansani ama opposition. Baomia nkora breru wedin kame ati asese we jimi. From his infancy, in his political infancy, he has not been able to prove himself. Sa akwa primary school, naso nimadia, yehu. And then you push the money called SS. Near who say where you bet mako. Now gravity in crowd, you who say me. A crying chere be a chere say, Sebio, so all supporting a crowd, bet baby, or bet my idea, it will surprise you. From day one, Baumia came into our politics. What has he added to Ghana politics? It's always, we have had the most vibrant vice president. And what was the output? If you have had the most vibrant vice president, what has been the output? Has the output been success? Or successful? Because we are here today under the same Baumia, you are saying he is young, you know. Under Mahama, who is old, the dollar was at 3.8. Under Nano Pokwajima, who is old, that was when we built the E-blocks around the nation. That was when you go to the basic schools, all schools were being built. That was when our education had a very good stand. Under the young Baumiano, today the dollar is at 13.60. That young man is an idiot. He cannot think like the elderly. Anytime they be a betania kase, nyemfa age, meme yemfa akwara na penyi ni mbu mayo, yedi nyansafo na chichire mai. Now there's one particular place and some your kind say he's very ignorant or a roadside politician. He was talking about succession plan and that Mahama and Professor Nano what is going to happen, and they say after 4 years, what is the succession plan? Governance is not of 8 years automatic. Nowhere in our constitution, and the state clearly say, so be the president, also the president 8 years. John Dramani Mahama be the president from 2012 to 2016. Adebia Oye Obuku was just 4 years. It wasn't 8 years. So what are you talking about? And you know the funny thing? This is the childish politics they do. Omoye at Peace FM, no matter or Kesbe, we the crow. Their own flag bearer, then, Nana Dankwe Kufuado, in his final remarks before we went to the ballot, he stated it clearly, say, Obieni Ghana, presidential candidate to be any Ghana, or you're entitled to 8 years. Every person is entitled to 4 years. It means the constitution of this republic recognizes only 4 years. Na sa utimi ye juma, na se wusu juma no se near mau 8 years. At the end of the day, say ube to me the 22-year-old man abedi president after 4 years with Jimmy Abepamono. Ube to me the 92-year-old man abedi president after 4 years or yeah there but one or so. So the argument that Mahama is old, Professor Nano Pokwajima is old, and Baumia is young, where does it come here? Because say compare NSN company for me and Minyansa Chakora will be brave. Now, this is Nana Dankwe Kufuado when he wanted to be president. And no nebetches Afinyo Markins, Onim Nyansa Edidi NPP anymore. He has actually shot his own foot. He shot himself in the foot because he didn't think. He's just doing roadside politics. Yeah? This is Nana Kufuado. This is what he said.
The democracy we fought for gives us the right to elect a government every 4 years, and it provides us with an opportunity to hold our government accountable and renew a mandate or vote them out after 4 years. No government has an automatic right to be elected twice. We should not give governments a sense of the right to be elected twice unless they perform and unless they deliver on the promises they made whilst seeking our votes. 4 years, and it provides us with an opportunity to hold our government accountable and renew a mandate or vote them out after 4 years. No government has an automatic right to be elected twice. We should not give governments a sense of the right to be elected twice unless they perform and unless they deliver on the promises they made whilst seeking our votes.
So now you see that African American is very dumb. He is standing in parliament making laws. He's not even smart to know that the constitution, his own flag bearer then, Akufo-Addo, said, no government, nobody has the automatic right to be elected twice unless you deliver. Inti African Americans is one of the most dumb politicians we've had in Ghana. And when we use these words, it's not because yatano, because ni panayeni etuane kayeni efidi ni ego. Yani yesha ni sekramai. Inti so Obatano exhibited the highest form of ignorance. We need to point it out to him. This is a lawmaker, and he does not even know. Say, nobody, no government, no political party has an automatic right to be elected twice. It means the constitution only recognizes 4 years. So if it recognizes 4 years, it could be that we can hand this country over to a young politician who is 28 years and he will fool himself for 4 years. The constitution gives us the room to kick that person out. It is not automatic that Bawumia is young, so he's intelligent. We have seen the works of Bawumia. Today, as we sit here in Ghana, this is the Bawumia they are talking about. This is Bawumia. I'm not even going to go there. Mahamudu Bawumia in 2016, this is what he said. More per conversation, you conversation. So I'm questioning politics, you know, because they will go to Peace FM. Kwame Sefa kind of one job to tram. The relevant questions. They will go there and misinform, fool themselves, and walk away. Now, 2016, this is what Bawumia said. The Mahama government is being unfair to ECG. The government has denied the company the requisite resources needed for the efficient operation. For its efficient operation. Privatizing ECG won't solve the problem. What ECG needs now is for the government to pay its debt to ECG. 2016, June 14th. Today, Bawumia is in power. What is happening to ECG? So you see African American is dumb. You see African American is one of the most clueless, ignorant people we have pushed so high in our politics. They do petty, childish, ignorant politics. And that is what they have been doing for years. Under Bawumia, today, where is the dollar? How much is the dollar? Under Mahama now, also a retiree, no? Mahama was able to keep the dollar at 3.8. Under your young Bawumia, the liar, the criminal, the thief, under Bawumia, this is where the dollar is. Let's get it real here. They want us to get real. This is the dollar today. This is what we are seeing. And we $1, it is 13 cedis, 60 pesos. You hand the country over to Bawumia because he's young. We should hand over the country to Bawumia because Bawumia is young. Now, if you are young and you are stupid, why should we hand over a country to you? If you are young and you are a liar, if you are young and you are dumb, how do we hand over a country to you when you are young and dumb? You rather hand it over to somebody who has gone through the mill, who understands the system, who has past records that are better than the young, ignorant one. That is why honest Ghanaians, intelligent Ghanaians are saying Mahamudu Bawumia does not fit to even contest. If the NPP had a succession plan, Mahamudu Bawumia should not be their flag bearer today. Do you know that? There is no plan. The NPP today is a party of benefit. They don't have any plan that can move Bawumia, because beyond Bawumia, where is the party heading? Canada, Japan? Beyond Bawumia, where is the party heading? John Kumana Mukuno. Beyond Bawumia, where is the party heading? Who? Who? There's no succession plan. It is about the highest bidder. The NPP has no plan. That is why today your flag bearer Mahamudu Bawumia is struggling to pick a running mate, because the party has become a tribal party whereby a particular region and a particular tribe is insisting. That's the way that is how foolish and how low the NPP has come. Now the whole party comes together. They come together and say, if you don't choose a particular tribe man or a particular person from a particular tribe, we, the party, will not follow you. It means the party has no succession plan. The party has a tribal plan. So the argument this boy is making is roadside argument. And if this guy is the leader of the NPP in parliament, then you know the NPP, you have a big problem. Because if this is your leader in parliament, such dumb argument, where is he getting this argument from? Where is African Americans, the pedophile protector? Where is he getting this kind of argument from? Because under the young Bawumia, we have 1360. So let's say that I don't even want to push this. We are asking you people simple questions. Today, Bloomberg has reported under the young Bawumia, who has 170 vision, Bloomberg has reported that our depreciation, our economy is going to take a deeper nosedive. You are sitting on Peace FM and misinforming and fooling yourself. This is the reality under Mahamudu Bawumia. This is Bloomberg. What are they saying? Ghana cedi is Africa's third worst performing currency this year. There are more tough times ahead, say analysts. And the Oba Bloomberg almost say Ghana, your currency is the weakest, the third weakest in Africa. You are telling us Bawumia has 170 vision. This is how low. You see, they be a catch Ghana for say NPP 4-way or form. If you make Afenyo Markin a leader of the NPP, not making such argument, you realize that the NPP has no vision, they have no message. What he went to do at Peace FM was to come and distract the system because they don't have anything to distract John Mahama again. They don't have anything to distract the NDC again. Ghanaians are focused on the NDC and they are focused on their message. They are focused on what the NDC wants to do for them. Everybody wants to be part of the 24-hour economy. Everybody wants to fight corruption, and because we know the track record of the NDC in fighting corruption, compared to these young ones you are saying, young ones who brought gold for oil, Bawumia led it, and today we are here. Bawumia led PDS, we are here today. Bawumia led what? All the scandals, we are here. You are telling us young. If you are young and you are stupid, you don't have a space in our politics. And so we are going to break the argument down. We will insult for you to understand that one can answer some but the facts will be thrown out there for the people to know. If you see Afenyo Markin, tell him that he's one of the weakest communicators of the NPP. It is bad for him to go on radio. He should stay in parliament and fool himself. But when he brings that argument of succession plan, the NPP has a tribal plan. There's no succession plan in the NPP. Do you think if there was a succession plan in the NPP, Bawumia would be flag bearer today? Are you kidding me? Do you think Sanka NPP was succession planner and can the Bawumia flag bearer? He has no way of coming close to flag bearership. But because the party is a tribal party, that is why today Bawumia is a flag bearer. So Nana Opoku-Agyeman and John Dramani Mahama, they have been tested. They have been tested on education. They have been tested on economy. They have been tested on corruption. They have been tested on everything when it comes to governance. And they have proven themselves. The track records are there and we all know what they can do. If today John Mahama catch him obesity 20 factories in 4 years, I will believe because John Dramani Mahama in less than 4 years was able to do everything in this book. Tell me what you people have done. You are building toilets. A young man building toilets. His vision is all about toilets. And you want me sitting here to come and say Bawumia should be the person to lead. We don't want people to lead. We want intelligent people to lead. That is the distinction. The distinction is that we want intelligent people to lead Ghana, not politicians. Every politician can lead, but we want intelligent politicians to lead Ghana. And Bawumia does not have that maturity, level of intelligence to lead Ghana. Bawumia was given a nod and he has failed woefully. We are talking about Bawumia, who is an economist. Today, the dollar is at 13.60. So if I'm a journalist, I'm sitting in front of you to say, "Kwame Sefa now what for your market is to be age me who say the first thing I'll ask and say, so the two people you are saying they are old, John Mahama and Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Bawumia being young, Bawumia came to me 3.4, 3.8, the dollar. The dollar today is at 13.60, but then it means that the old are smarter than the young. That's the question you ask such a person. And when you ask that person that question, he will say, oh, Russia-Ukraine war. And then you refer the person to your own deputy finance minister, former deputy finance minister, Kweku Kwating, Obuasi West MP, or say, and your Russia-Ukraine war, and I say Ghana Sikasem, a corruption and you people embezzling funds. This is what journalists do. But you don't allow this fool to sit there and speak nya and walk away and say that we are helping Ghana by bringing these people into the studios. I don't interview such people because these people, they are low-minded. They are not smart. They are just politicians. They come there to talk shit and walk away. Because you don't give him room to start displaying ignorance. It is an Afenyo Markin starting and question and say, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former flag bearer of the NPP, Akufo-Addo said, no government, in fact, no political party should have that thing in their head that they have automatic 8 years. It is 4 years. When your job is perfect, we continue. When you're a foolish political party, we kick you out. The same way you are going to kick the NPP out in 2024. That's it. Now, this pedophile protector, there are some few stories that we need to take care of. Now, Yura digitalization ne aslawusu ensemnim. Platform were solid. So Obahana so one concentrate here. Kitubia uhudieko. Obiati asye. You are talking about age. You want people who can do the job, deliver, competency, people's track record. You are foolishly talking about this person is old. In the NPP, who has a better track record than Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman and John Mahama in the NPP? Me penny pa our better political track record. JM and Nana. Nobody in the NPP. We have the men. Sana Ponchi. You are sitting there saying transition. What is transition in the NPP? Yeah, can transition and then Kenya Lankash and also a flag bearer. Alan Kojo Chamanti should be the flag bearer of the NPP. But because of corrupt people like you, because the party is a tribal party, because the party has no focus, the party money has taken over the party, because you people have turned the party into a money-making machine, killing people, you think Bawumia should come and continue what Ekufuado did not finish, and that is killing, destroying, running the economy down, corruption. This is what you people want Bawumia to continue. We are not going to allow you people. We have the men, we have the one who area boys are Kromfui. Now, Mama story be very, very important story. And I want us to watch this video. We've heard about the dome, fantasy dome. And this story is out there. And when I saw the story, it really hurt because we are talking about the entertainment industry. We are talking about a government that promised Ghanaians to say, when they win power, they were going to build theaters, entertainment theaters around the nation. For the past almost 8 years, the Ekufuado government, even amphitheater that they promised Kumasi people, unim amphitheater, teteno, Greek for no, amo person ponchi mi kwa, na mo the concrete gu ha kakra, na the concrete no matana so no mashe. And no be krampo mo ka so mo be sinu Ashanti region, e be sin there, Makokreku, they could not build. Since this government came into power from 2017, we all know the bad state of the National Theatre. We all know, say, apart from the Fantasy Dome, which is owned by a Ghanaian, and most importantly, a Ghanaian who is Ga, apart from that facility, Yentumi are organizing any better concert in Ghana. That is why there's so much pressure. Because if you don't get a Fantasy Dome, the only place you have to go is to go and destroy the grass at Accra Sports Stadium, Kumasi Sports Stadium. So the Fantasy Dome has been one of the avenues that has basically helped Ghana entertainment. It's a fact. Now, the most interesting thing about the Fantasy Dome, and they say, so who say it's what's sana? It is not just what is sitting there. There are so many things that come together to get that dome sitting there. Have you considered the power that comes there? Have you considered the reception that you get when you go there, the bathrooms? Have you considered the green rooms in there? Have you considered the backstage, the changing rooms? Have you considered the generators that are powering this edifice? These are the things that come together for you to see that dome, that fifth of Olympic size football pitches to put together there. It is not just like seeing that white thing sitting there. And they are sorry, Nana Dankwe Kufuado NPP any omu trade fair na adane some Akromfo cartel setup no. I'm sorry, you see the Fantasy Dome has been pulled down. Now, the most interesting thing about this whole thing, and they say, so we share the story. Suddenly, sorry, na dome no, the air day, the excavators iswo, and na yebubu. Now, when you look at the picture very well, this is the Fantasy Dome. So, what winning picture no, and we took our time to take an overhead view of it. Trade fair in our Pavilion G, I think so. Now, so we share. This is the Fantasy Dome. Baby, a white thing because it's an aerial shot. A drone and a shoot here. So I don't know who it was. It said 2 Olympic size sports stadiums. It's filled, you know. It said 2 fields, 150. You get it? It said filled, you know. Now we made our drone guys go there to film it to show Ghanaians the devastation. The trade fair center almost deliberately they have done. Now, when we saw a picture way, you will see, say, this is the trade fair. As I see that from 2017, I can say, yeah, the Asasi way, I'm a contract. Chinese, if we be a developing trade fair, no, there is no work done. You may be anywhere in trade fair. Trade fair, when you look around, no work has been done. Almost a Chinese company be a trade fair Juma day in, day out. McDan is the board chair of trade fair. I'll show you the CEO of trade fair. Now, into Sawushe, the Ekosna as a Ghanaian, do you see any serious work being done at trade fair? Do you see any serious construction being done at trade fair? Nothing. 2 trips and maybe and a coin oma pevu coin. Nothing for the past 7 years. And this is in the heart of Accra. Because Ekufuado in the Busianfor, they want to take the trade fair land. They basically came in and started breaking it down. Now, the white parts you are seeing now is the fantasy dome. Now, if you want to have a clearer picture of what we are talking about, this is the overhead view. You shoot it free, they have torn everything down. Let me enlarge this so that you see it very well. Okay? They have torn everything down. They just went in there, trade fair CEO, no? She went in there and she broke everything down. When you take your time to look at it, let me show you videos of the destruction. Maybe I make sure my DB. I want you to understand the fantasy dome, the story behind it, and the deliberate action by these people. So this is what the government did. They just went in there and they broke everything down. And I was asking myself, Fantasy Dome na S71, who S71, it was 7 us Ghanaians. The NPP, since they came to office, they have not built one theater in Ghana. This was a private-owned business. It was basically creating opportunities for people. Artists, businessmen, and I'm talking about because a businessman. When you go to Labadi, where trade fair is, the area where Fantasy Dome, they were doing business. Every time there is an event, at least the microeconomy there, people were purchasing their food. People were purchasing their gas stations or fuel near to. People were purchasing the restaurants there, beer bars. People were purchasing a lot of things. So the Fantasy Dome alone being a trade fair, it was basically helping that microeconomy Accra within. And secondly, what happened to the government partnering the private sector to boost the entertainment industry? And the edifice you were saying now, and the flat. The edifice and the Omakobuni Toguno. It is not just the tent sitting there. A lot goes into this before you can say this thing is running. Now, what is the story behind it? I had the CEO of the Fantasy Dome granted an interview, but you have to understand you can't trade fair. This woman is the CEO of Trade Fair. Trade Fair. This is the CEO of Trade Fair. Wait. When you have small account TV, we so know. So when you have Mami way. And the CEO of Trade Fair. Gabi Hunipa, Ekufuado Hunipa, Obunyina de Ayejuma. So this woman sitting at Trade Fair as CEO or no NMI instructions, they say the Fantasy Dome na is Suwana S7 Ghana no. At this point, Yanko Bubuntungu. Now the Fantasy Dome, some more contract with trade fair cry. At the end of the day, as far as we don't have a theater, and as far as we don't have anything going on at trade fair, you say Chinese have put anything on the ground, no brick or block on the ground. At this juncture in Ghana, the Fantasy Dome is the biggest in Africa. West Africa, it is the biggest. You know that. Maybe you have not taken your time to Google to check. Say, the Fantasy Dome, no, big and 150 by 50. The question here is, the Fantasy Dome is one, or the Fantasy Dome now, my friend, no. The most interesting thing, they say, it is the biggest in Africa. Kanoforiata girlfriend ni. Your friend Agnes Edu. She is the CEO of Trade Fair, Ghana Trade Fair. She is the CEO. Kanoforiata, the girlfriend no. Inti yan hwe krampo no, say ye ni eye Fantasy Dome. Our contract. Not a contract now and the crowd. What do we do as a nation, especially a government that is crumbling, a government that is trying to let the people understand, say it is willing to do what? To invest and help in the day help in building the entertainment industry. So in Kobe say, okay, a woman say Abia, I had the trade fair center, Omni Fantasy Dome, our contract. Ebia contract na ende, but let's look at alternatives. And the Fantasy Dome when you are, and him fana ende, ye kasi ye concert a beboa the entertainment industry. Ye betumi hold the concert. No, it's a simple question. Before you take any decision, at the end ye betumi say ende, say ye a bigger concert in Ghana. Na say ye nya Accra Sports Stadium, ye nya Kumasi Sports Stadium, ye nya National Theatre. Nobody goes there again because basically I didn't see the capacity in National Theatre and a quarter of the Fantasy Dome. Until right now, I'm when the name say Petuo, because contractual agreement being ready. No, the question is, do we have alternatives? This is the government. This is Baumia, also a vision for the entertainment industry, a government-private partnership. Now, today, through this Petuo, they have gone to break it down. Where are we going to hold concerts? Where are we going to basically have events? Now, let's listen to the CEO of Fantasy Dome. Yeah, I'll show you a few things.
50,000 seating capacitor for events, festivals, and all sorts of activities, which has become or was known as one of the most prominent event centers here in Accra. What you see here is the result of a demolition activity, and I'm here with the CEO of Fantasy Dome or Fantasy Entertainment, Mr. Leslie Kweno. Mr. Leslie, join me here. What we see here must come as a big blow to you. Now, we know that the Trade Fair Center gave you the lease to put up this edifice 5 years ago. The lease ended December last year. First week of December last year. Okay, last week in December last year. What happened that was irreconcilable, for which reason your business is in shambles now?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and this is a big blow not just for me but for the whole industry, the entertainment industry, because we need places like this. But to answer your question, when my lease ended, I am in the process of relocating, and obviously this is a huge edifice. It's not something you just pick up and relocate. I've been looking for land. I need up to 4 to 5 acres of land to go to, and I've found a couple of places, especially the University of Legon. We're in the final stages of negotiating the lease, so I requested a 60-day extension from the trade fair, if they can let me get that so I can have time to finalize my lease and relocate it. The CEO wrote me a letter stating that they will not extend the lease for 60 days, and they are taking possession of the land as of January 1st, and so that was it. So I did what any law-abiding citizen or business would do. I went to court and I requested a writ to stop her, so she give me access to my property to remove it, but also give me enough time so I can relocate. So we were able to get a writ of injunction. We got a writ, and we also got an injunction for them not to damage the property. We've been trying to serve them for a whole month. We finally, about 2 weeks ago, did substituted services, so they were served. It was pasted all over their offices. They're fully aware of it. So unfortunately, the next court date is April 18th. We're waiting to go to court for the judge to give us a way forward. I just needed time to relocate, and honestly, by the end of this month, I would have relocated because I'm in the final stages of my lease arrangement with UNIDEK to relocate to the NPP.
So your lease ended. You wrote to the CEO for an extension, and they refused. And then you went to court for an injunction. You served them this injunction, this writ, and they said what?
They have not responded. They just went quiet. I mean, this is the first response I got from them, and unfortunately, it's very sad because there are several ways to do this. In Ghana is a country of laws. You cannot distract or even evict anyone without a court order. You cannot destroy anyone's property without a court order. So the question is, how can you destroy this property without a court order? I mean, forget the fact that there's an injunction, which there is. I mean, how do you still do this and use national security as your protection to do this? And that's what's sad for me as a Ghanaian businessman, is that in today's age we can just break into people's property with bulldozers using national security operatives and just destroy property and claim it's an eviction. Does this look like an eviction to you? I mean, is this an eviction? I mean, is this what you do to evict people in Ghana?
Well, you mentioned national security.
Yeah.
How sure are you that they're the ones who came to demolish this place?
Because unfortunately, on the day of, my security tried to reach me, but I kept calling them back, but they were not responding. When I got here, there were national security operatives. The gentleman here claims his name is Captain Frimpong. He said he's here to protect the trade fair workers doing the demolition and protect them. And apparently what they did, the reason my security could not reach me to get here faster was because they took their phones away from them. Not only did they take their phones from them, but they held them captive under the tree. So they were moved away from the property and they took their phones. And I don't know how national security operates in this way, in which you are there to protect somebody doing a demolition, but then you take away the security phone so they can alert the proper owner to respond accordingly. And they're fully aware there's a writ, there's an injunction on the property, and I don't know why they'll aid them. And where is Ghana police? I mean, isn't this law of order? If you have a valid court order, a valid court documentation, isn't Ghana police the one that should be here supervising whatever you do? I mean, we're a country of laws, and we should not just let these things just happen. Because how are we supposed to invest and bring millions of dollars into this country if somebody can just get national security and just knock your building down and then tell you they're evicting you? That's not the way we should work in Ghana. We should respect the laws, which is what I did. I went to court. I got an injunction, and that's what any businessman should do. We should never resort to violence, to destruction, because that's not what a developed country, a country that wants to develop does. We should be a country of law, we should respect law, and we should adhere to the law.
This was a 20,000 seater capacity building, edifice, event center. I've seen cameras on the floor. I've seen the air conditioners, huge air conditioners all over the place, cameras. What is the estimated damage?
So this facility was not just an event center. I did one level above. It was also a production house. I mean, we actually have a couple of shows here that were filmed. The Boss Game Show. I mean, some of Instroma, some of those things. This is where we filmed it. But I also have equipment. I mean, in these rooms back here was storage equipment of LED screens, stages, lights, sound equipment. So we were a full production house. And as you can see, they just knocked it, and everything is broken. And it's just and that's sad, because at the very least I could have had some time to remove my production equipment. I mean, the interface itself obviously is very expensive. I mean, the cost of putting up this whole infrastructure was close to $5 million, and that's because, you know, I had close to 80 bathrooms. I mean, I had, you know, dressing rooms, I had green rooms, but more importantly, just the floor we're standing off cost close to $2 million. The trade fair, because of its proximity to the ocean, is all clay, and obviously to be a safe edifice I had to dig 2.5 meters, extract all the clay, fill it with laterite, and that's what made the cost so exorbitant. But that's because I wanted to do the right thing and do safely, because if you're going to have 15,000, 10,000, 5,000 people jumping and being happy, you don't want them to die because the clay caves in. And to do the right thing and to just be destroyed, demolished, or whatever the legal way they want to use for this is very sad, and I'm still in shock.
What reasons did they really give you for which reason they wanted you to evict you from this place after the work you put in to ensure that this place is habitable?
The reason is that they're doing a redevelopment of Trade Fair, and I understand it's a valid.
That's the building there that they're trying to construct more facilities for.
They are reconstructing the whole Trade Fair. Obviously, I don't know the plan. I don't have any idea of what they are trying to achieve. But I mean, it might be a valid cause. And I respect that, because Ghana needs to develop and the Trade Fair needs to be developed, and I support that. But my only problem is do things the legal way, do things the right way. You know, I've been here for 5 years. I mean, they could have asked me to be part of the redevelopment, right? They could have said, Leslie, you spent $5 million. You know, maybe to fit into the redevelopment, maybe put glass around your edifice. It might cost you $1 million. But for me to relocate this could be another $3-4 million, because I have to do the ground, I have to do facilities. So it doesn't make any sense. But I wasn't part of it. Fine, I was going to leave because, you know, that's the choice they made, and I found a place to go to. But to come here and demolish my structure without any kind of warning, without any kind of pretense while we're in court, is my problem with the Ghana Trade Fair.
What's the way forward, considering that an estimated $5 million has gone waste?
Yes, I mean, that was an investment.
So what's the idea where you it hurts. And the reason why it hurts, and I say, this lady, or the CEO of Trade Fair, Agnes Weno, before 2016, 2017, not Oyejuma Atlanta, Costco, not up a pass space way with the name. Oko Atlanta, Costco. Before Nkofo about power 2016-17, na ehon Oyejuma, not less than $12 an hour. Petrol way. Ne boyfriend Oforiata Mobile Power and Obine so a CEO of Trade Fair. Messina Atlanta, Costco, no paper space on. O ye space say. No a paper no asadi a shake kejim. O hand o spectacles no a handebua near two no screw a juma na or ye o Costco e America no get we. And Jenny wig. I say Cambodia Ponkobia yet na boda ho ye ba be dware no hwe ne wig boni tiri so. Hwe nkwase ade bia oye. All because she's dating Oforiata, all because NPP is in power, all because Mark Dantu is behind this nonsense, all because Trade Fair assassin, they just want to take over the land, all because they are about to leave power, so they need to find a way to make sure Chinese phobia almost constructed Trade Fair 8 years in almost see die back. I didn't say this word that Oko Trade Fair, there's nothing there. Someone who says, oh, this gentleman they are interviewing, the gentleman is lying. No, these are the facts. Listen, look, these are the facts. This is a contractor on the Trade Fair signing or signing contract now for 10 years. At the end of the day, it ended up at 5 years. Only problem. And this is the contract between or no any Trade Fair for no, which is on record. Petuo Wayne friend Agnes, she knows. So this contract was signed 2017, 2018, and it taking effect. And it was supposed to go on for 5 years. So his contract was supposed to, or was supposed to end December 31st, 2023. Which is right. These are the documents. So when you read lease for rental of open space, and it is there, it is between Trade Fair and the gentleman's company. They signed a lease. Now remember, right after signing this lease, and COVID-19 hit, COVID struck Ghana, COVID hit about 2 years. Remember, time of COVID hit, nobody had events in Ghana. And this is the biggest event space in Africa. It is all a businessman. Now I signed a contract 2017. So I paid the place to be used for 5 years. Now right after that, COVID hit 2 years. No event center was open. This edifice is sitting there. You have actually invested $2 million in the soil because Trade Fair assassin clay because a benyepono. So he had to spend extra $2 million to get that assassin ready to hold or to be able to support all the equipment or the basis. Now this gentleman does that, and he does not tell you people after 5 years and he will not move. He's even in the process. But in 2020, 2021, 2022, COVID hit. Now 2020, 2021, there was no job coming in. This man is not making money. This edifice, $1 million, $5 million over dollar edifice is sitting there. Now, right after COVID, what should Trade Fair do? So, I'm the owner of Trade Fair. I will call this investor and tell you that, you know something, you have been hosting all the events in Ghana. In fact, you have helped the government more than any private investor. So the 2 years na ashino crampono ebia yebesa the 1 year ka would lease no, because we are all Ghanaians. We are all trying to help each other. You have spent a lot of money and 2 years went waste because of COVID. Into 1 year crab account ho. Say about 2024 December na ebia our contract be end. Into try finding somewhere before 2024 ends. These Trade Fair people, they did not consider any of these, but these fools are telling Ghanaians to consider them when it comes to COVID-19. Now you see where it is. When it comes to their government, glasses Atlanta Costco no. When it comes to a government, some questions are also forgive us. COVID-19 was in here, so Ghanaians, you know, forgive us. But when it comes to individuals, Ghanaians, who have invested millions to help boost the entertainment industry, they don't give a shit. They just break it down. All because en cranfone to ho ema ankofo we ba Trade Fair assassin. That is the idea. Now, when you move forward, you see this. And everything this gentleman is saying, they are the facts. Now you see this. They actually wrote a letter to the lady. And this is the letter the gentleman was saying. Request for an extension of lease to enable removal of the tent structure. Inti time a contract ne end no. And a otroye letter. Ekoma the Trade Fair say, oh, I'm requesting, say, because of COVID-19 this year, we all lost money. But can you people give me a little bit of time? One can say man 2 years old, one can say man 5 years old. Also give me a little bit of time. Now mean to me a movie this edifice to somewhere. Because this edifice is not an edifice. I did know to 2 parts, not a core. We enye tiku. And I say enye baby a ton watch out to 2 tent na adiasa near a kogu baby. This is a multi-million-dollar edifice. We name the number of bathrooms, almost over 80 bathrooms. Almost a reception room. They have changing rooms. They have green screen rooms. They have production halls. Equipment. Millions of dollars are in. You cannot just get up one night and say we have moved it. No, you need time. It's a process. Especially when Trade Fair no edwuma bia serious bia e was say etumi ma be gina ne kon say yini ne ya, because we have seen anytime we show the overhead view of Trade Fair. Chinese for NPP call for mobile, they have not done one job. So what is the emergency here? So they wrote this letter to Agnes. The name is Petro. Me see Agnes no not Atlanta wo. Na Costco, we Costco. And it's a Ghana A life. Costco. And I'm going to make you no, you give America A life. Oko be a ton space na ordinary na pound. So space a bua near with screw no the amount. Atlanta, a hona na oye juma. NPP ba power. Ede kofa sa petio we friend Agnes. Can ofora ta girlfriend on the dawa bruchiri. Eno ko swa ne ba ye deche. Eno de betna ede. Or de betna eye Trade Fair. So when they wrote the letter, what happened was that we wish to formally request a 60-day extension. Fantasy Dome were just asking for 2 months. The date on the letter is there. They were asking 27th of December 2023. They were asking for 2 months, mami 60 days. Namin timi nyabutre and hire a company that is good in doing this, professionals, to start moving this delicate equipment. 2 months. Fantasy Dome, the amount of event Fantasy Dome a hosty in Ghana. This government say the National Theatre and to me hosty. The government itself, it has held a lot of events at the Fantasy Dome. Or asking for just 2 months. In any day, somebody will be asking for 1 year. Because moving these things is not easy. He was asking for just 60 days. Agnes Nenimsa Petuo. Now, this was the response from Agnes. And I say, a Trade Fair. This is what they said. They responded to a Fantasy Dome, and this was their response. And their response was on the 28th. Fantasy Dome extra come on 27th of December 2023. I'm gonna reply the next day, 28th. Or my time in Now, what did she write? Or say, We acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 27 December 2023 with the above subject, and the subject is request for extension of lease to enable the removal of tent structure. We refer to our letter dated we refer to our letters dated June 6, 2022, July 15th, 2022, July 22nd, 2022, January 3rd, 2023, April 20th, and blah, 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 meeting the verbal communication with you on the above subject. As evidenced in each of the letters, the Trade Fair Company Limited has given you ample notice in accordance with the clauses of your tenancy agreement. It's been 18 months since your first notice to vacate. Due to the location of your tent and your refusal to vacate your premises, the construction of the on-site infrastructure has halted, which has caused a 6-month delay in the project. 2017, any day trade fair, you said I'm a Chinese for so develop it. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, you better 2024. What say a fantasy dome it has derailed or halted Chinese for the Juma. And I'm a area footage. This is trade fair right now. See, this is trade fair. What here? They know what trade fair ha. It just say the fantasy dome sitting there. It has halted a Juma we no trade fair. Show me the work these Chinese have done at trade fair. This is the the aerial shot. Trade fair nini. Fantasy dome any white part now obubuni na tuguno. The trade fair for the say adikudienti aye bubuni say it has halted the Juma Chinese for the. There are no equipment even on site. A Juma Ben a Chinese for your ha a halted a trade fair, a fantasy dome, a halted the job of the Chinese, the construction company. A Juma Ben a you trade fair ha. What is here? Then a waha a say a Juma be cost giddy a Chinese for equipment wa almost to us I say almost CBB for 7 years. This is what has been bubu structure, and this is what has been left. And it said trade fair. Agnes, this excuser. Then there is more to this. Now, what happened was, after this guy wrote the letter, Agnes, a reply, I'm talking about trade fair, a reply, and say they are not going to do what? They are not going to extend the extension he wants, no? They actually did something very interesting. They went ahead and blocking a trade fair a fantasy dome for no. So they issued another letter to fantasy dome and said unapproved entry and exit to the trade fair site. So after a year fantasy dome for actual letter come out trade fair for say give us 60 days to be able to move all these things, The lady wrote back and said no, and she went ahead to say that we have blocked you from coming to trade fair. So fantasy dome, the workers, whoever is managing it, any event, they have been blocked. Entry and exit. Why won't me go fantasy dome? Why won't me go for BB and free? Why won't me for BB and coho? And they held the place hostage. Agnes, so technically, why won't me nye juma? Why also workers won't me ko juma? Why unim dia onye? The place is sitting there. A jatobu cry, we wouldn't know who is going to stop it because some was security guards to what it's security guards. Omunye expert in doing what? Stopping fire. If people are basically doing something wrong, you wouldn't be able to stop it. This lady went further to say, wasakrampo akati omo access to trade fair. Fantasy Dome cannot come to trade fair. The management, the ownership, whoever cannot come to the Fantasy Dome. So that is what Agnes did. So the guy said, okay, if that is what you're going to do, then he was going to take the legal route. And the legal route was simple. He was going to go to court for court to also hear him out. Because one, Onka said, free ho. Also about 60 days. Even though, no, one man, countless occasions, I'm verbally, modern komo, and wakacho say, it will take time, give him time. COVID-19, so it will take time, finding a new place and all that. But the guy said, okay, I cannot also bring police and land guards to come and stand here and fight Ghana police. So I'm going to go to court. If court hears me out, then it means I'll get the 60 days to gradually move my things. That's all. Because we are living in a land or in a land where the laws are supposed to work. And it should respect every individual. We are all equal before the Lord. Before the law, whether you are an institution or an individual or a citizen, whatever, the law is the law. So this law-abiding citizen said, okay, what is happening now is getting murky. So now I want to go to court. I want to go and hear what the court says. Let's go and hear what the law says about the rift between Fantasy Dome and Trade Fair. Omukodru court, and these are the court documents. So they went to court. Now, when they went to court, something interesting happened. Fantasy for a court, no. Anytime the bailiffs went to Trade Fair office, Agnes so many times they did not allow the bailiff to serve Trade Fair. Every single day, bailiff in the free court say serve Agnes. No say Agnes to kwine, Agnes Trade Fair is closed. That is not even their office. At a point, they told the bailiff that the office is not their office. And at this point, you cannot enter Fantasy Dome. You cannot come out of Fantasy Dome. What should a businessman do? A businessman who was promised by this government and every Ghanaian who is a private businessman that the government was going to collaborate with businessmen to help the entertainment industry. What do? Especially when the businessman does not live in Ghana. Maybe he has some business elsewhere. He has to go and come. What do you do? Now, these people have blocked your business. So this went on for some time. And then the businessman, that is Fantasy Dome, went back to the court. And now the court said that if the Trade Fair people, Agnes does not want to allow bailiffs to serve her, then the court has another option. And the second option was that the court basically granted her the substitute service. In the court, ne catch a bailiff and say, "Oko office wo na mka say Agnes ni ho ehon nyom officer fa den rate no fa tare omugeta no." And in law no, and I say court proceedings and I say in court no, say a substitute service so oko di pa no oni okra edan a otim no utumi de tare utumi de rate no etare ne dan nim technically what serve nipa no. So did it happen? It happened. And this is the video that showed, say, Trade Fair, they were served. So you see, this court bailiff, substitute service, they put it in front of Agnes, Trade Fair CEO, her office. She ignored it. This is how bad these people are. They don't respect the court. And this lady went ahead after all these things. She sent the national security, Ken Ofori-Attamoh Eka said, go and destroy everything. We woke up one morning, all the court documents, I asked 7 women where she said she doesn't care. She sent national security led by Captain Frimpong. They went there and they broke everything down. These people, Fantasy Dome, they did not pick a remote control. They did not pick flash screen. They did not pick anything. A multi-million-dollar edifice. As we speak tonight, there's no work going on at Trade Fair. For the past 7 years, you see Chinese for be Trade Fair. Nobody has seen a truck working at Trade Fair, building one edifice. And then the Leslie guy and all kind of. The government could have even said, say, your edifice is so important to us that why don't we sit and add it to what we are trying to do at Trade Fair? Because at the end of the day, and I'm not doing same coin, we all end up because of entertainment. That's why we are trying to open Trade Fair up. So if we have you a potential investor who has shown over the years that when we give you the necessary push, you can even help our work to become bigger, why not do that? The government goes ahead through the Trade Fair to break this edifice down into pieces. And this lady, She lies that she's a doctor. She's a liar. Or glasses. We are going to go into her resume. In America, we are going to show you that the CEO of Trade Fair, she's a liar. She's not a doctor. Okay, Nina Okwa no prescribe glasses amount. She is not any medical doctor. She does not have any serious medical background. Na oton space Atlanta. Grace, me say this lady, Agnes, this lady, na oton space Atlanta. Oton space for Atlanta, the Costco, a hona no wo. Optometrist. She is an optometrist. Onye eyi doctor bia. She came and she lied to Ghanaians and said, "Oh, a doctor." Obwa. I'm going to pull a resume. Then you will see what she has written in there, and we will let you know from here. This thing, a multi-million-dollar investment at Ghana for a opportunity film. See how Fantasy Dome Abua Ghana. The biggest event in the past 7 years has all been at Fantasy Dome. Nigerians are coming to Ghana to rent Fantasy Dome. It was projecting our entertainment. It was projecting something majority of African countries have never seen before. The NPP through this Petuo, this fake doctor, this CEO of Trade Fair, they have brought the whole thing. They have basically shred the whole thing down in the name of what? Eviction. What you saw is an eviction. What you saw is demolition. What you saw there in the video, and your eviction, what you saw is demolition. Using hard trucks to break down investment is demolition. Now, this gentleman who owns a Fantasy Dome, that is the painful part. The gentleman who owns Fantasy Dome, in and out. And I want to ask a simple question. I want to ask a simple question. Enkran for na mo wo enkran no mo ankasa mo pesa mo tena na yenka mungu apunim. How many enkran for na etuma such an investment? The opinion leaders, the Gamanche, the traditional council, the people who matter in Greater Accra. Are you not hurt? This man is your blood. This man created opportunities for Ga people. The Labadi area, he actually was holding the economy together. Majority of your women, a man or woho, a mema, young men, women, youth, every time there's a concert at the Fantasy Dome, and crime form renting at this man, he hires for them to help him. People who were selling or who are still selling around Trade Fair benefited from Fantasy Dome. So this dome going down, majority of your chiefs and the elderly, you are sitting there. You are going to sit there for this NPP people to come and take the Labadi Beach land and everything from the Trade Fair. It is shocking that you see your own people you speak for. Typical Gans, their brother is being suffocated. Your own blood is being destroyed. Your own God brother, and we have chiefs, we have queen mothers. Now, Jesus asked them, we bet my queen was antimemu. Say asantini bi akwa brochira ba ya de we waye no menhia kura insider odwen say asantefo be pene say obi mfiri nkran bra no mebubu no. How stupid sometimes can we be? So another guy on his own land, on his own father's land, on his own mother's land, his own people could not protect him. So why should I sit here and protect Ga people? Why should I sit here and talk about gas? Why they need their lands back? Why they need to reflect and make sure the young people get opportunities? Why should I sit here and make Nkran for my priority? And I'm asking the musicians in Ghana, those musicians who were out there campaigning and saying that we should all do this, we should play Ghana music, the Saminis, the Sarkodiyes, those foolish boys. This is where you eat, oh. This stone boy, Shatawalemo, Monkwasiafona Makano, this is where you eat. Say, Fantasy Doma, you are useless. Majority of you people. Are you going to come perform in my bedroom? Recently, I'm going to perform at stadium. This is your field. This is your field. This is where you are relevant. You, these musicians and the artists in Ghana, not only musicians, especially almost said they're up and coming. Those who say there, Ghana, there, we are bigger than Nigeria. This was your field. This is where you were relevant. Without this dome, you people are not relevant. So is somebody going to come sit on TV and say we need the government help? The government needs to invest in the music industry. You are a fool. Where you play has been broken down, has been torn down into pieces. You are foolishly sitting there quiet, telling me you are a celebrity. Where Jimmy? So where are you going to be relevant? You, these boys singing in Ghana, foolishly moving around. Where are you going to be relevant? Because you can't be relevant in my home. In my home, you can't be relevant in your home. You only become relevant at the Fantasy Dome. The VGMA, the organizers of the Vodafone Music Awards or whatever. You people are sitting there. Where are you going to hold your nonsense, yearly Vodafone nonsense? Those people who have been organizing different events in Ghana, all under the music industry and entertainment industry. Where are you people going to? And you people are all sitting there. Sa kwasi ampenyi you and the tinu kokore kwara your friend is saying. Akwa Jimmy ya owo eyi. Odini di jankroma echi Jimmy your friend saying. Your friend saying. Jimmy ya odi di ekufu ado banechi ewo Jimmy your friend say mumbo di chame. Oh. Mr. P, Mr. S. It's not Marco Kreku. Jimmy ya where is Sakura? He was in the movie industry today and on the customer for today Ghana this idiot. Socrates Safo. Are you ready? Go for Socrates Safo. Jimmy, Odiekufu Badechi se Kramain. This was where you were important to. The Peace FM, the showbiz programs you are going, that is not your field. You will not get anything from there. This is where you people were going to make a living. And to Socrates Jimmy for and Ghana, he will come and sit on TV and say, give Baumia a chance. Baumia can change Ghana music industry. He can change the entertainment industry. You have not been able to build one entertainment center, one theater in Ghana. The JJ Rollins is here and Maseno. Jimmy for Ghana need in Sika is such an edifice. Mama Saga and Nimsa Petruba we when who see we on an Ghana saw a doctor. Wait, optometrist. Or your doctor, or some space handle or some way. Oko Atlanta, Costco, or no on more than $12 an hour. Wait. Now, Kwasiaba we have trade fair. The Ghana people are just watching him. And also Ochina, the youth, the Ghana youth, you are supposed to walk to trade fair. You are supposed to walk to Eden, the trade fair, this woman, her office. Because at this point, economy she has taken your livelihood from you. This petio has taken your livelihood from you, and continuously you sit there for people to come and take your livelihood from you, especially in crime for no. So the youth will indulge in LGBTQ. The youth will sit at home and they become a nuisance. The youth will always be blaming you because this is what you have to be looking at. From 2017 or 2018, our Fantasy Dome Mobile, see the amount of jobs are creating in the Labadi area in Accra. These people, this foolish girl took 2 minutes to take your livelihood from you. Are you going to blame me? Now I'm there in all this. You see this boy. This boy, George Quay. There Yana say, George Quay works for McDan. McDan is the CEO of the Labadi trade fair. This boy, this morning, he started going around and telling bloggers to misrepresent what has happened at trade fair. This boy, George Quay, honestly, the most interesting thing and shocking thing in say, and opatutu na George Quay gather the bloggers. I have chats. He's telling bloggers that, you know what? They should not report what they are seeing now. There's more to it, and that they should not try and let it look like people should have sympathy on Fantasy Dome. This guy. So when you go to some bloggers, they are trying to twist the thing to make it look like, oh, Fantasy Dome, the time do Adentina, because his boss is that McDan. McDan is the one stealing the land at trade fair. I'm telling you. Me metna hama McDan warning da. Didn't I want McDan say as the board chair of Trade Fair, he should let us know the status of Trade Fair. Any assassin, Raymond Achade of the year. This boy today is paying bloggers, different bloggers today. He is calling them on phone. Do not let people have sympathy on the fantasy dome. Meaning people should not have sympathy on the owner. George Quay. This boy came into our entertainment industry as a second act. Or taxi driver, Jimmy. Recently, Sonny Badu had an event in Accra. Sonny Badu's event almost collapsed because of this boy. He is terrible at organizing anything. This boy has no experience. But imagine that such a fool will get up in the morning and they'd be calling bloggers and be calling news outlets that they should not report the story in such a way that people have sympathy on their fantasy dome. Can you build a hen coop? This boy, ask him if he can build a hen coop in his life. Onukwa will sit down him. And these are the people in the music industry. They are in the entertainment industry. These are the demons. Ghana industry, music industry, entertainment industry, I say no. These are the people. So today, this morning, I got 2 or 3 news outlets, entertainment reporters, and bloggers calling me to say, why is George Quay so much into this? He doesn't want people to be reporting this because his boss, McDan, technically, they are rushing. They want to share the land at Trade Fair before elections. These are the people who destroy VGMA, these boys. VGMA ay tiny nyina enkosuna ay tantantan na akwawe omoko jijiska na nkwasia act bi no radio so TV. So these are the fools. They are making money and they are destroying a Ghana entertainment industry. These are the fools. Jimmy wait dear no nimwo entertainment that edifice is one po ebetuma at 1 year. This guy, how much is he being paid at multimedia? What does he know about entertainment? Mrs. Sonny Badu event, this boy destroyed it. Sonny Badu done a ding. Hello, this boy could not even put a simple event together. Working in Ghana and the agency, a friend is saying, terrible agency. I'm gonna say VGMA. We will not say VGMA. So what is happening there? No, when you go online and you are seeing some reports that are contrary to what I am showing you, it is this boy. And it is McDan doing that. And I've told McDan, I'm a principled person. I have told McDan, and I've given McDan so many opportunities. Songo, salt ne ohono. McDan, we are going to go there. We are going to speak on it. You, McDan, you are a terrible investor. You are a bad man. You, McDan, you think that you can buy everyone and get away with everything. But we are going to deal with Trade Fair first. A few months ago, I told you that you are the board chair of Trade Fair. Every nonsense happening at Trade Fair, you know it. You have been signing documents. You are doing politics. You and your group, you want to sell the land to yourselves. Mameka strategy be omo yechiremo. Oh, sir, I'm the contract I'm Chinese for 7 years. This is what they are going to do. They are going to sit. Chinese for no munye jumano. Eka 4 months to election. Now Chinese for not starting ye BB. We are no will say the government of Ghana did not help them because when they started the job, the government of Ghana was slow. They are coming to take judgment debt. That is what they want to do. TMA. The Trade Fair job when government ends, so we are these people and the Chinese will come back and tell Ghanaians to say those people who are managing the thing did not do it well. So Chinese if want to say for all these years we did not give them room to work and they have lost money and they are coming for judgment. They create loot and share and no. And they are dear pan the Trade Fair 7 years. There's nothing. Assassin no muchicha. It is for them. And McDan is leading this pack and he's using this boy. It's exactly 10:03 in Ghana. After this short break, we will take care of business.
See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right. It's a privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right. It's a privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right. It's a privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege.
Indeed, one of the things that came up was the Ejapa royalties.
ECG boards or say, you have electricity. It's not your right. It is a privilege. As some way, you can when this time and can only be intellectual, dynamic, intelligent, smart lawyers. Hey, and then this in the ECG boards say, electricity is not a right. It's a privilege. Hey, now can this one get better naso? Me say, NDC time, enanka ECG boss beka say, electricity. Thank you very much. Let me show you this before we move forward. You see the CEO of a year trade fair, Agnes Edu. This is when NPP were in opposition. See, Onye. When they were doing demonstrations, Onye. This is Dr. She's not a doctor, she's lying. This is Dr. Agnes Edu of Atlanta in Ghana teaching Eden ophthalmology. Students. She joined the protest. Police abused her. Ophthalmology. And I know what when Gabby Dance were doing demonstration, she was part of the demonstration. And on the trade fair, CEO, on your doctor. On your doctor. These people, they have been card-bearing members of the NPP from behind you. Now or Kotsko. Now or Shisha Space, yeah, Space. Or your eye doctor. We need, about to do this. Sanko for Oko Kotsko say, what do you see? A, B, C, E. All right, change your eye. B, small b, E, A. They're not all no course corono. And they're on the so oba change a trade fair center. Kronfo bawi. Osha we ganyendo. Sa ponkodua no washa che. 2015 ya no she ponkodua, 2012 no she ponkodua, 2013 wa she ponkodua na ba bedua only you see she has no self confidence. Utu ponkodua na wadane achinchina. Mesi we yeah. Sa doctor Agnes we. Utu ponkodua we ya wadane achinchina jina wenim. Why santrohwe? Be say o start share ponkodua enyende o Cambodia ponkodua ne hye no. Utu ponkodua na ojina osa achinchina. Eye doctor. A. Small A. Can you move it wide a little bit? What are you seeing? 2 fingers. Wait. And the one kwasiade oti Ghana here. Oti America. Ni a year. She wasn't making over $40,000 a year. No ni America could TJ pay. Now ECG boss said to have electricity no unilighter and yet they right a privilege. Into ma mote Ghana na ma adwene mo say you have to have light. Yeah, here light. Mo so ma bodam. Enya se unya enya light na enya chinchina wo so nsaka. Sebio idea bi a wo say ba wa kwemu keke. Enya de enya se enya wo right. Enya say enya wo hye enya idea bi a wo say right credit den. You don't have the just say ECG boss muntie no. And I'm to Ghana didi mahama atem kwasiafo we na mudi omochi.
See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege. See, the funny thing is, we walk around thinking it's our right to electricity.
Isn't it?
It's not a right, it's a
not.
privilege.
This is the ECG boss. This is the ECG boss. Or say, Kania na yedum na mubu funo. Masa, Kania enyam papeja padio. Enyam na nantwie ena santini ba ne kan no. Or say Kania no ye pa ne de mamo. Mo fam Jimmy ntena fie. Inti wotem santase ete kwabre. Na se yedum Kania na peja babeti e frefro radio so it is all right. Or say enya Kania or so mo bodam. Kania ya wo Kania ye fe twa ofuruma. Inti se woni Kania kope baby da ECG boss no. Inti utie obi to say Mr. Logic. Obia logically or a writer eden or pamata de zip to each on your bar and so if logically if somebody is rational and ajuni juma onye kwasiatua na enye mumu na or the bone bra de bia also be the woman I want to buy ase abon I want yire ase ntiama ni sikanko didia so wajuni juma uti obi de say Mr. Logic or see ain and the dum so no yemfa nhye omom ye illegal connection kwasi obetena nkran kurasini obetena nkran otumi pam brown brown na ehye no otumi pam blue blue na ehye no we mu na titi TV so say omo dwene Ghana ho kwasi yi de antobro we akwa we no fi we inti at Ghana say yes say if be Mr. Logic or see an dum so no me blame government ye blame illegal connection for now whose responsibility is it to stop people from connecting electricity illegally kwasiato we Jimmy ni di ontumi nchiro so ka patwa Jimmy to ne background po ontumi ne nkasa odi krom kase bo so ono ka patwa. Now logically if you are rational enough na be ma pam shirt no the zipper to eachiri na we chiki kawa kwasi abe na mebie ma wo we mu ne nam Ghana displaced brains, diseased, despicable human beings who don't have self-confidence. Nanka wo ya Ghana ni na wo te Ghana we hu mahama ban dum so and we hu there and they share illegal connection and Jimmy na we Jimmy. So ECG boss say mo amotia santimemu mo amo Ghana ha ye dum mo kania moto wo ka say I don't know mo dum ye kania ye Ghana for dum so no aba mo me time to so from Jimmy nko no a and no kind of bro from no say electricity light it is not a right, it's just a privilege. Enu amon kwada inti akua chan and bejo bo
akua chan metetafo na me baton fish ewo asafo market ya me be wan wo hwe me da bia no pa me so dia wo yem tiama me awia ne ama me eto afufu awime so ne asebo me efiri se dum so ba me ba no fish adaka duasa ne akoto agu kwa eti na me ba no wonya sika ma me na me de didi efira no pa me ba me ni di yo eno ani bodo se hwan ana bedu ha no mato bi die me ba nya sika ma me wo bo se ante se di adwuma no nya dum so abro wa de me na ye nyina firi dum so me ti asi me de me sum ho de mu ya ansa me da fom birim mama adai adiani aye maya wa abro wanti wo ma me wanti se me a mama mi huna ma ni sei me tell me we demonstration and me kon ma kwa kama sam so akire mama no hu me mabo na dum se wonya na me be timi tan fish wonya sika matari ane adi ana ma ba bibia ne be say NDC for na say NPP for say na ndi wo mama NPP for no ne say ne kura nyina ya NPP de wa mo beka ana nkrofo wade ya ne kura nyina NPP me bati yesi baby di etombo engomodi anu makobu agweni pa kura mubugu ya wade wa aboa what one ne dai obi abu agwo wanya demonstration bibi amusi MPP for na ye say ne ye woni pa wo woni pa che mudi a ene ya fe mun sore so ndi mama se wontimi a wanya bone eno ase me na me ka ye so meboa no wonya amade obetimi betena ho no wanhwe na mere wa ye mobo
egwe jano no ni so bolo about the bull so Wednesday dia time o kan so bolo na nka so de share ntumem wunim de o so de bo ne bo e na o kasa because ya catch and say my camera pick na egwe jano na mo sa no 35 everyone saying NPP Bantama Women's Regional Communications Organizer I don't know on so ka say bolo na me no no owie nka bre wade nka de besi wo anaso de be share ntumem owie ro de bolo de board bo na o kire mo say ono onjimi yo advert na no ye no
akua chan de wa mo beka ana nkrofo wade ya ne akura nyina MPP me bati yesi baby di etombo engomodi anu makobu agweni pa kura mubugu ya wade wa aboa what one ne dai obi abu agwo wanya demonstration bibi amusi MPP for na ye say ne ye woni pa wo woni pa che mudi a ene ya fe mun sore so ndi mama se wontimi
onwani nsuo no ba ku bi na omde nsuo omde pure water e omde so ne ha and I say osu ne bobolo ne bonebo or the year advert akyerem say the oba the one no man ni enti wo cameraman ko wi asoto no we mu no from infants in ye train omo unya saa mienu we omo che atomic bomb unya say 2 omo tuma gukuru say 2 ekopie busuam epie efie mienum omo nko adwuma omo te de bi omo te wo ewie omo te wo kwabena wan say antim wa ha beje koto brode e bra me oman mu den yesi empo ye hu de enye ho mahama time no akwara di be 8 years no ma start pollute we mu omo dangerous atomic bomb we unya 2 into unya say 10 e wo fie 10 mu a ye yi nkwara because uko asantebe mu a nkwara be 50 e de be fie bakum in a space of about 10 years. It is a unya nipa we sa 10 e different nipa 500 we mu o ma finish omo mo meje ko tade embre me o say na mami o mo no ton de sen o so mahama time no 1 city ene ka se kira muntie ye de encha ne ekọ muntie ye encha ne ekọ sa JJ runs nko foi o ma se foi wo hu de o mo de ye Ghana time na ko wo ho ye wo ho siredu utumi de to ye de omo ene he ya ka kire mo ewudifo de sabu jam no buman a oso nana de bi oso jeje wudi ni oso hwe konwa na menkyerkyere mu na politi na no unim de si ye o fa kwa dai ai o fa kwam dan so de am de picture kire dan sen busam se de na fa so man nya koma yare wuye mesi meni also no boa o kan meni na papa me ma me ka kire me se enso o se meni obi ka se meni na se me witness na me gina ho enso to bi ka se me say satana me swakakra me ga se meni ena ma me kire mu de se wan fa na ni ehu na ne ma me na kire mu kire no meni jeje rollers ni ndisi foi e ba ye de o me ayi kuma me santa say ya ma me bi ma me fro ma me ya na wo fa se na o Germany kwame ata kwambo de oba na nsen yakwe ne nana ba ko se ne ma me nua no omo free apedwa efie but omo no omo tu kotena chebi ntina ma dwene omo se omo nti na anu ya no mo ba ye omo me say ne nana odi ne sum bi enu ye kua ni nua ba ko na o ware be ma bi o rusu firi bu no wemo unya 10 enkora 500 omo say obu nyina so no mo di 13 years nti enkora no me see it many mama me kire mu kire say sa kwambo tin mama ye see twan yem na srem adan a ye see JJ Rollins so akowia den sardine na me see de siwa santima wem ye mpore ntanka sa say ma so hwe nti bia ka kire mu sa NDC fo ne de enu anu na akora na enu anu no me say akora ne nyini no edantrim NDC betuma ba be school o say NDC fo ya akronfo omkunipa na danitrim na NPP for abaso oya punch o sian e punch sisu kura beto am NPP onim the reason unye kwe chance say 10 e mantem atomic bomb miensa and watu atumo no ansa na untumi cleaning system ne up no it takes another 20 years mami church mu nchira many me say magic to mo ne many obusa na ugina o say na me maame na echire ma kire men so so nani mia many the Caragua for all right let's go him o dey o problem now problem do so now asla usu and about parliament but before you make asla parliament asem no you catch them Ghana for say digital infrastructure is the key and debia you tena catch them say ejuma NDC aye when it comes to digital infrastructure. Nobody, no government can compare themselves to the NDC. Senka NPP for when Nyansa and Kabao Nyansa, they should have invested a lot in digital infrastructure. Without fiber optic cables, without Accra Digital Center, without NCA office, without the physical hardware to host data, transfer data, you cannot have what we call digitalization in economy. You can't. Ya can't somewhere I can't but bibi every time be NPP for or make a digitalization be they speak about applications. Without digital infrastructure, without Accra Digital Center, you cannot build an application. When you build the application, you will not have anything to run the application on. And the catch of the Baumia has no message. And Aslo also on a share communications so on the IMF boss I could share with event I say Ghana mumienti we broni nenumasem IMF penyini no aba sa argument ayeka say nyansa na da Mahama trim or investing in digital infrastructure no it is the only way a Ghana bit must survive. Debaomiya or Castle or the antimony application aba or the DNA application. It is nowhere near what Mahama did. Abrofuno Muti America Hano. They have said without digital infrastructure, you cannot progress as a nation. Into the application about application for the NDA application. Those applications, any kid can do applications, but the infrastructure. Now, this is the IMF boss. And Waba Ghana and event you copy here. Bernard Avle Busan say when it comes to digital infrastructure, now Ohun is saying digital infrastructure, does it help a nation? What role does it play? Is it something that is a necessity, or we can skip digital infrastructure and take care of digitalization? This is the boss of the IMF.
Thank you for that. And on the last point you made, at the bottom of your report, this 125 countries that you surveyed, it's quite interesting that the countries that are most ready, the Singapores, the Denmarks, the USs, they obviously will face a bigger risk, but they are readier. And then the poorer countries who have a lower risk for their labor markets are not that ready. What are some of the country-specific things that have to be put in place to move a country into greater readiness?
We identified 4 areas where progress has to be made, and different countries are in a different place with regard to those areas. Number 1, digital infrastructure. Without it, it is very difficult to capture the of artificial intelligence. What we know is that digital infrastructure is more advanced in advanced economies. We know that in Africa, on average, access to the internet is still only 50% of the population. Some countries do better, but some countries do worse. Second area, and to me, is the key for success: investment in human capital and in flexible, adaptable labor markets. When we look at countries that have strong, dynamic, agile labor markets and investment not in mechanical learning, but in learning to learn, ability to shift from one task to another, the Denmarks of this world, the Singapores of this world, they're better prepared. 3, innovation and how it fits into entrepreneurship. You can have research and development, but not feeding into the dynamism of the economy. And 4th, regulation and ethics. And what is so interesting to me is when we did our assessment of preparedness, the United States, that is way...
This is the IMF boss. Waba Ghana, waba event. And you busan event and I say, digitization. A DNA bit mama digitization. When it comes to digitization, DNA we hear answer first. You can think of digitization or digitizing your economy or even moving into the what we call artificial intelligence era as a nation. Bernard Avle say, Madam, when I bruni, when I IMF seeking on our hustle, when I win technology, muna momasika, into a DM pana about digitization, this modern world here. My minister said the first thing you need is what we call digital infrastructure. Also, if you don't have digital infrastructure, it is Accra Digital Center, it is NCA office, it is Accra Data Center. It is all the fiber optic cables Mahama lane from Accra to Sirim, any and the ICT centers are NDCC across the nation to be able to or to enable us to be able to call people on phone, video, send emails. Without that, you can never speak about digitizing a nation. This is the IMF boss. Or see, without digital infrastructure, without the infrastructure, you lie bad. Or see, AI, artificial intelligence, without the digital infrastructure, you cannot move your economy from where you are to AI because you need the facilities. Or see a CDINO, or see the cables in form. Or say then you physical infrastructure able hold the data before you can talk about digitizing an economy. Inti Mamina or the head of IMF no. Or say se Ghana, ye pese ye move ko ye nim, na se ye pese ye wumpeni form nim nyansa, se eba Ghana infrastructure, digital infrastructure. Obi obeka cha se application, eno na ebe change Ghana card, or se we Jimmy, or se onyansa for and invest in infrastructure. Mami we the IMF boss. Why they invest in infrastructure? John Dramani Mahama. And need to see Accra Data Center, NCA office, NIA office, and need to see all these things. Put fiber optic cable. That is the infrastructure. Into Okambibi say, you see, if you want to go more advanced, you need the infrastructure. If you want to access the internet, you will need the digital infrastructure. Without the infrastructure, you cannot have the internet. When you don't have the internet, you cannot create the app to play the app on the internet. So without the backbone, my minister Ghana for someone investing a lot in digital infrastructure, baby, you are wasting your time. So baby, when you catch us a Ghana card and at the end there antimony a GPS and at the end there also sign Jimmy, because before you can move into the era of AI, you will need digital infrastructure and your toilet too. You don't build toilets to move into a digital era. You don't go and say agenda 111 with your mouth and move into a digital era. You need to build the basics, and the basics no and then John Dramani Mahama no. Now time na ma we kasa na Oslo wusu tewo. And you busa Oslo wusu say Oslo una wo hwe Ghana Communications so. Now the question here is, a day na mo buy power from 2017 ebesi end 2024 no, when it comes to digital infrastructure, what have you added to digital infrastructure? I go see broni nim say or digital application, but the concentration or digital infrastructure. Inti ebusa Osla no so to hey madam space ya pacho ya besi ebusa say mo buy no the mobeto ye no, what have you done? Have you built on the infrastructure? Have you invested in the infrastructure? This is what Osla also said.
Thank you very much for that, because that segues into my question for Minister Esla, because digital infrastructure is number one on the four, and it appears to be what the Vice President, yourself, have been drumming home for the past few years. We didn't do that great on the list, but give us a sense of how Ghana, as a case study, is preparing for this AI revolution with your investments in digital infrastructure as an example.
And it's a pleasure to be on this distinguished panel as well. What have we been doing in the past 8 years, 7 years to prepare ourselves for the onslaught, which is staring us in the face? As you've indicated, digital infrastructure has been big on our agenda, and with the help of our development partners, particularly the World Bank, we've done a lot towards putting in place the critical underpinnings for our digital economy. It's important that we put in place our national ID system. We've done that. We needed a proper addressing system. We've put that in place. We needed to focus on digital financial services and in financial inclusion, and we've worked a lot. We've done a lot towards doing that as well. But absolutely critical to all of that, all these systems would have to work right on the infrastructure underpinning all of that. That's connectivity. And so we've worked with the private sector to extend the network of fiber infrastructure that we have in place. So I see what has happened in the past few days as a bit of a blessing in disguise to focus our attention on the need to invest even more in providing connectivity to all parts of the continent and our country, because it can help us leapfrog. And this is not just a cliche. We did that with banking when we didn't put in place the normal banking infrastructure but moved towards mobile banking. We've done that in a few other areas. And we can use digital infrastructure to transform the economies of the continent if we invest in putting them in place. We've put in place a government...
What is your kind of... Brodina can we? Brodina say digital infrastructure. Without that, you are wasting your time. As me specs, madam. Yes, see. Yes, so now again, now we're buying my year after digital infrastructure. The question was from Bernard Avle was, what investment have you done in digital infrastructure? Remember, bro, from that out. So Bernard Avle was seeking to hear from this woman. Tell us the exact investment that has gone into digital infrastructure. Because Bernard Avle could have said that, give us the investment you have done in digitalization. That is general. Bernard Avle could have said, give us the investment you've done in digitalization in Ghana or digitizing Ghana. That's a broad question. With that, you can mix application and mix infrastructure. But the conversation they were having was specifically geared towards digital infrastructure. And Internet Bernard can say, you and the vice president and your party, you have been making noise about digital infrastructure and digitalization. Today, you have the biggest platform. The World Bank, the IMF boss is sitting here. She's saying, without infrastructure, digital infrastructure, you cannot build anything. So tell us, or see, from the help they've gotten from their foreign partners, World Bank, DND, na still on answer a question no. Also, ya your partners or more abruchi World Bank, IMF munina ama iskanka krankakra on answer a question no. And also, when you say you see national ID card, it does not fall under digital infrastructure. It's an application that was built for cards to be printed. 81, I'll jump straight to Ghana card. Ghana card is not digital infrastructure. Then she jumped to digital address system. Also, the GPS address, still application. Listen to me. She has spoken about two things. She's spoken about Ghana card. It's an application which is on the infrastructure. She's speaking about the GPS, digital address system. Still an application. She spoke on the financial banks amount for to me sending air transaction. It is still an application. Asla Owusu could not emphatically. Now, awkward and I'll say, private sector, no, they have partnered the private sector, listen, to extend network or fiber optic cable around the nation. See, or say, NPP are buying, they have partnered private networks. Inti ende, John Dramani Mahama, LA fiber optic cable internet wo Ghana. Nasa MTN enriche wali. Nasa MTN ako extend it almost ako tap it into John Mahama fiber optic cable ama internet ako stream and connected it to some villager. What can you say no and NPP for are investing in digital infrastructure? She is now trying to say send the MTN ko stream na internet wall because of Mahama fiber optic cable no. So we could tap into the fiber optic cable. Na some call na relugu na relugu for any internet or no NPP abino or investing in digital infrastructure. It is the MTN themselves because they want to reach some places. So they basically tapped into John Mahama's fiber optic cable, and yet the budget wasn't from the government of Ghana. The budget is from MTN. The budget is from Telecel. The budget from any other telecommunication company. For her not to be even able to say, the NPP government led by Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, Mr. Digitization, we have been able to pump $50 billion into this infrastructure. It tells you that they have failed when it comes to digitization in Ghana. Because if they had invested in digital infrastructure, so can almost see another data center and can serve a hold data. So can almost to stream see another NIA center hold data. And Quebec said the NPP government led by Bawumia, we have invested massively in this center. We pumped $2 million in building this facility as an infrastructure that represents digitization. But because and then she's speaking about digital application instead of her answering digital infrastructure question. So the difference. But Jimmy, because she space and what the foolish masses in him. She is representing the foolish masses, and the foolish masses today cannot speak. They don't understand. They cannot read. So every foolish thing you say in front of the foolish masses, they absorb it. But Oslo also to answer the question because the IMF boss had already said without Mohammed's digital infrastructure, without NCA office, without NIA office, without the fiber optic cable, without the infrastructure Mohammed put in place, you can never have internet and even think of going digital. Intiebusa madam says 7 years there na maya or see a Ghana card. Oh, yeah, BBI your friend or a GPS address. Oh, and the Oko bank a bit my transfer sika. She could not speak on the digital infrastructure. Omo di musika. She did not answer the question. She was basically saying trash. Bro, need to one or three. Or see now we were Jimiana. Yeah, can digital infrastructure. Oh, can GPS address. Yeah, can digital infrastructure. Oh, can Ghana card. Yeah, can edifice service a room that holds data. Oma dada mwache. Sanyoma we unyan chechemu unless here. Majority of the media omo Ghana dodoane ntiasie. Dodoane sebi omini anum dodoane omoti account radios no omo ntiasie. That's why Outmuhu Obi say Kuyapoki. Now and there, a serious issue has happened. A cable, fiber optic cable. A poisse. Submarine akutwemuno. Ote America social media say, oh, AT&T Verizon Krano a few weeks ago, it went on for about 2 hours. So what's the big deal in Ghana? Say and Ghana internet no enye juma because bibia kutwa hum Jimmy on tiasie. So when AT&T and Verizon blank for 2 hours in America and they come back online, you want to compare that to a physical damage to cables under sea, and you are saying, say, it's not a big deal. Where Jimmy? Tell me, because you're about America, and you're the so do Jimmy. We're not in radio, also a journalist, or no be church watch now. Wait, such a weak-minded soul walking on this planet. You are comparing a glitch on AT&T and Verizon network to a serious physical damage under the sea. It has cut people across the globe off the internet. You are sitting there comparing the two. Wait, Jimmy, what makes you say, so law school now starting now. I'm going to write to them. Whether online or in person, I'm going to write to them. Matisse office now call Adam Koba Rebecca and Watson with free. I know where. Me say, so I was so law now we are now the face certificate free Ghana by way of pocket. Me ba be query, me ba be busomo, me ba ye ba be chon krata. Kwasiafo mo say Ghana we want betena bruchiri. Mo de moto kankan betena America. Ade na mo nkotena fie. Wa betena nipem. Tena zuwe. Low voltage village girls funeral announcers. Omanu tuntum omusi achitum kwasia keka. Omar Kasagu utrima na utia wo ya. Muwa. Someone say what betina ni pem. Now uti emuom ya catch us at the empenifone ye no. They are deliberately destroying the nation. Now the kwasia also ada one be power to betina TV so any hwe you lady and I mean Jimmy on betina won be a chichi kro. Won pothole wo fie nim. 24 hours e clear no. People are working. The system is supposed to work. In Kwasia tribe ni Jimmy, motitisi ye yase ni atoma betena radio station krasefo. You are comparing a glitch on AT&T and Verizon network to a permanent destruction. Wait, Jimmy, how do you read? Now, Mama Matias here, in the end, the conversation a fat digital infrastructure hono. IMF boss now be end the conversation. And this video and this response from Osla actually say, today in the world, without digital infrastructure, Mama e bompire yembo bi majo Mahama. Ghana for mokoda. So what me friend or girlfriend e was slim abra we teacher ni e wo e boankra. Na so what me friend or girlfriend okoda ka se Nyankopon bless Mahama mame. Sa na wo so woka. Sende uye adwuma wo slim na so what me friend mame o video e check no e wo bantama se ma wo te sen mam so video and e go hospital no ho ye. Na mame friend sre ka kire jo Mahama se nyame nhira no. Sa nkwasiafo amudi omochi omuntumi emfa cable ba konto form. And this is what we have been preaching all these years. Yaman Kwasiafobi and the tribe and the say Ghana. We are all supposed to get intelligent visionary leaders. Ghana. John Mahama digital infrastructure we know. Anka John Mahama said the 4 years and can be kende sa asem AC anka Ghana anka yanka because after setting the country up, after putting all this cable underground, after we going digital, What was his next thing? The next thing was to make us independent when it comes to internet access. So what was he going to do? He was going to try and find a way for us to get our own fiber optic cable under the sea. That's the next step. Because he got the basics right. In that John Mahama next step, they say he was going to expand the internet. He was going to expand the data. He was going to expand that infrastructure. Nanka Ghana be independent when it comes to digital data transfer. And yet tina kuma na kwasi afu by 8 years. Kuraba kebu gum on fe bin kosi menhia. Kuraba. Mo mensuye nyansa. Enti mo hia Kofi Bento ne kwasi aforum di ba obi achi na. Mo say IMF boss they say without Mahama's innovation, without Mahama putting cable on the ground, ba omi ankwasi ade o ka no mfaso obi ani so. Na mo ntie de omo beka. Ebi o makasa IMF boss no so NDC ni. John Mahama was thinking about launching satellites. Na de Mahama ye ne entiase. De na NDC no. Sometimes I understand some Mahama kasa he was too honest with Ghanaians. Metena say na ya adwene mum bie to that level. And I think Mahama should have slowed down. No ni nkurasefo na edili. No ni Jimmy Tabafo do na edili. Intine entiase. Because time era Mahama by 2012 no. Time about Atamos Vice no. The pace and Mahama de kono na Ghana for do no enti na send a use phone. Send a net to call internet so call year research. Na nipa do send a TV asena se. Na Mahama etu kwa Japan di okohu ye. Of course Korea Asia ka de na dan tim no. Na pace ni too much. Inti ne hu Mahama se odi sika. Inti Mahama be ye bibi ti se pokuase interchange. Yes ye odi sika because ye hu bibi ya sada ye tumi fan compare. Mahama ko no koye kejetia na nkwasiafo se he wedi musika enso ne nya bebia fan compare uko Ivory Coast bi ni ho uko Nigeria bi ni ho uko Togo enti ne nya bebia fan compare. The same time Mahama so dege my access to information na or the fiber optic cable fa from say ye betumi aye research ehu nkro de woso na yeti hei na emmonsam we so ka se Mahama ye kronfo Mahama fasika na Mahama ba besi Dubai circle na ye busa ye ntiase. Na Mahama was easing air traffic to make business flow. And it's not circle. The interchange changes be by because when you get a free flowing economy, a free flowing system, what happens is a man for to me could dijuma quick eba and then the man New York City the biggest the big apple a man for no because you can take the subway, you can take the bridge, you can also use bikes. So the moment you are able to move quicker, business moves smoothly. And then na ye ntiase no Kwame Nkrumah idea na ode baaye no Mahama to aso no still na ye nkurasefo nti na ye ntiase nti ade a wo hu bi da obi be kire wa wo say hey obe poison me ana. That's a fact. So wo hu eduane papa da na obi ede eduane papa ehia wa obeka say Mr. wo me pese mewu because you have not seen anything like that before. What you don't know na ye nti eye Kotoka International Airport ni entiase. Ghanaian businessmen they don't even understand. Na Mahama we see Kotoka International Airport obium international airlines akese betuma sin. What are the importance? Na entiase. Because they who be da. Because ni enim the benefits. Inti na oya na say hey we di esika ade a unto obi da. Sa woni esikafo hia na se sikafo ne oda nsa de bia ehia wonti de bia no oda de coke baako nti so bi oda nsa ye expensive I say hey where the boy me pese me kon ba normal money pa no because we hu bia. That is what Mahama was doing. Mahama was taking us to a place where we had not been before. Na ye ntiase nti so bi ba no besi kejetia na so oye kejetia sei abra kejetia insuo to na embagu abontene ewiabo na embagu abontene dwumade ntumi nkoso ateche insuo na so bi ba besi sa edifice na ye ntiase ye beka se ya sa ase ete no ade na wa besi ade kese we esi so ye ntumi ntua ho ka o ade odi abaidie ebede na yetuma ko digwa wom na ye suro time Mahama si kejetia wie no na ye ne ye suro si ebekom mpo se ye pese digwa wom because ne needs to be a start no into be catch us Mahama do sika o say I am pa if you say you have nothing to compare kejetia to. Sa unim kejetia ni bi won bi da na so obi be catch us Mahama di sika because oboa but na won bi da. So we be a situation no Mahama ko si Commander Sugar Factory infant for ye whose companies are that. It is so better radio say Mahama say we do sika o say Mahama di sika but won bi da. Inti the pace no speed na Mahama de ko na no ding Accra Digital Center, NIA office. You who be that? Look at the Accra. Shenyoma na ekwoso Ghana. Shenyoma na ekwoso Ghana. Kotokraba market. Ye ma menom omu free poba. Oboba omu tete apatase. Mahama besia die we. It's a problem. Hey, na sisi ye be baze. Adama zide. Mahama we die si. Ontiasie. Onim the long-term benefit of that. Inti sometimes to know, I don't blame Ghana for too much because you nkurase for do. And Inti Mahama can say no. For the people to understand what I want to do and where I want to take the nation, let me open their eyes and Inti on the internet by. I feel what you say because he wanted you people to reason with him. He wanted you people to understand. Said the no ebi won kuro bi so eno na abo mo economy na bedru sei eno tina otena waka say no 2014 we need to go digital. I need to make sure internet access to the middle class, the lower class, the higher class, we need to have access. Because those times obi to me go school could do Legon or to me the masters na on to me access information out of Ghana. A textbook and a professor they actually they didn't have any idea. Inti 1 or 2 be to me school wa brochi no mo ba omo beduru a omo ba de omo be kebiani aswalo for all you know nipa ko brochi no twetwe ponko sen okwa no wentuma and take care of no who school inti okwa brochi se oka so ko to schools no e di se kufu adom no omo ko num wi inti omo ba enkwasiade bi o me kebiani aswalo because se omo ko brochi aba omo ko sua nimde no. And Nijina Kwame Nkrumah kwa abrochire omo anom ne Kwame Nkrumah estati eye the UG for no UP for no mu nyina ko tena abrochire but na ekufo do busuafo ne jimi omo anko abrochire so omo ko sua bibia beboa Ghana omo ko abrochire se omo ko form ho omo ko hwe suit omo ko num wi omo ko num George omo ko pemba Kwame Nkrumah kwa abrochire be joining Martin Luther King mo ehun say how we can elevate the black person without we being oppressed by the whites. And he was looking for solutions to our problem because he knew we were very potential. We have potentials. We were people with a lot of minerals. We were wealthy. How was he going to break that jinx so that we can be self-sufficient, economically viable? We can manage our own. And it's no question or buy no can say, fashion designers here, and I cannot roll with you because your perspective and my perspective. I want to change people. You want to change yourselves. They wanted to change themselves. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to change Ghanaians. So he decided to do the difficult one. And we done snitches. And a man for the form and they were using them. So we did not understand. In the Kwame Nkrumah free system, JJ Rollins mobile and they tried. And they do John Mahama. So John Mahama's pace was too fast. John Dramani Mahama, his pace was too fast. Because I was sure from 2014. Now we share UGMC hospital this one. Sa hospital was here in 2028. No, I'm going to kid you. So we share Ghana situation in there. We share Rage Hospital. We share Bank of Ghana Hospital. We share UGMC. Nanka also Sa hospitals no 2028 in AC. But John Mahama built these hospitals in 2014, 2015. In Tina and Tiasie, we were just like now kwa we okay say oba be actor Osofo Dazi afede or the Hollywood naba. Hollywood is something to a baby echo. So you realize that we were confused and these snitches capitalize on our ignorance. These NPP snitches, these liars, these I want to be the white men. This is where Mahama was taking us. This is John Mahama. The pace Mahama was taking us. Tema Port, second phase. This is what John Mahama was doing. We were all in Ghana. We didn't understand. This is what John Mahama was doing. He was moving Ghana, KJTR market, Tema Port, Kotokraba, Kotoka International Airport. That is what our problem. And a filthy disease of human beings, we capitalized on it. And how did they capitalize? They looked at our weakness. We didn't have information. We did not understand. And it's a Mahama Ebeye Kotokraba or ye Kejetia or ye Sanyoma Wenina under 4 years. Ye just for a because ende ye Tiabusium, na sende Ebusia Penyu, na Efia yetim, Edviene Bubu, Ebusia yetim, Impunto Biamba, na say ye a brand Tiabi, na so be dear Busianim, na in 2 days was started Busia dying. In 2 days, or the Korabetan Obusenum, or Mama scholarship. Yeni Busia for say, I say, hey, and the ABA and Namoja Padia Jagu and our branch area or the Oye, Yampene, a Busia Japadia, Yantiasie. For all you know, no, a branch and I wouldn't be seasonal. What Tiasia be say, Sana Mwankas Asasia Moton Sukran, Fangum, or better the moon comoma, Fangonia to be Eddie Aboy Busiano. And so young will be Danti. Yabesoria catch our branch and say, hey. Una nano media a busia penny, o man yes idea with you, and then an say, I was dying, I also busia dying, and the Oba and Koran do Udomina scholarship, Yapebom dear, Nanso Udi Sika. That is what they did to you. It is all the infrastructure Mahama, yeah, you know. These people were telling you, say Mahama Diska, 8 years, how much Mahama, and as Ubi. No, because Omu who say Jimmy. So situation no enti omo wie we nyina no mka chem say Mahama ya de we nyina hwe munko Dubai de wakoye wo ho ohun sa afei omo kire say Mahama eni abie so aye bi wo Ghana de aye bi wo Dubai enti omo start Dubai hotels kire mu time na project we nyina ekoso at the peak na Mahama ye we nyina mamo no na omo de Dubai pictures abekire mu mon hwe de waya mamo Ghana ba mon hwe de waya de Dubai. Inti the wire ma na ebe boa brabo no on person be diatum na we need Dubai de Dubai de na entro Dubai ni na utim and so obi aka che say Dubai Mahama hotel 30 ebe sin de ya che Mahama so hotel Dubai bi o Captain Smart ko Dubai ko hu say Mahama ni hotel bi a waka kire mu ono na be ka kire mu. So do not fall for these guys. NPP omo nwini hu or send half in your mark into parliament or a peace FM or see Mahama and this vision continuation DN on one party no Omaka on Bayachro NPP see I didn't so me. What Ghana in our shaman NPP then about me so be also about me so be twice over 20 years. Agenda 111 away. Free senior high school 350 some business away. One district, one factory away, one constituency, one dam away, one constituency, $1 million away. Didn't go for which? Won't go for Jimmy? I didn't about me about twasso. Dollar no and the echo 14. Didn't about me about twasso. Or be move dollar na 30. So you ask yourself this simple question. It is possible. It is possible. Baumia message you know. It is possible. Baby, I agree. Gani, yeah, Padia Shadi, I will say, I me was Kaufi. What about them? As Baumia is coming to continue what? Tell me what Baumia is coming to continue. At least I know John Mahama can come and finish the senior high schools you left. I know John Mahama can come and finish all the markets he did not finish. John Mahama can come and complete all the regional hospitals. John Mahama can come and everything Mahama started he could not finish. I know he can finish them. Sagleme house in the go on kwasi afo in am Ghana. Sagleme o maka ho asembiem. Baumia wants to move the dollar from 13 to 60. I don't know about continuing that day. Because Baumia has been continuing from 2017. He continued 3.8 all the way to 13.60. And so if today you are telling me to give Ghana to Baumia, then he's going to continue it all the way to 60. Continuation maybe. Now, my MGA and the CEO Parliament team Efa Osla Owusu any internet in Sensemi. Yeah, too deep, but I'll break a few things down to you. Now, my director margin, yebaba a whole segment on Sika Osla area, Efrimo Ghana for through 80. My friend Airtel Tigo, and now 80 Airtel Tigo. I changed the I 80. Now, I think we should just go straight and take care of it. Now, and the Oslo Usuba Parliament, and a Parliament Busan said, on my statement, a year internet doom so a no Ghana. Yes, see, submarine be akutra cable bim in Sium. Emma, and as we speak, you know, Ghana internet, you know, and yes, stable. Now, more use phones near the adeno. Mo say mutumi send text kakra in your man kakra. Mo could be a year Google near that to me be sa. Mo de mo nyam traffic because you use a little bit of bandwidth near the ade. But when it comes to the major companies, we use bigger bandwidth, bigger, we have bigger data. They are struggling. A month for you may go. And as like I say, after a month, and you bet me sa internet na ni no 72 hours ago no, and now 5 days ago no, after unless after 5 weeks. But any name Sibia, a year 80, and your friend Eto Tigo, Sibia, and the Omonia power. Day now, MTN was shut down. Telecel was shut down. That was the day, and 80, our peak. And the Asla Bema answers at the Kudientia, Sadia, and see Inti Mumenti Asla. Ye we are Namachamo, Atrobia, and Introbia Asla Channel Parliament in there.
They also indicated in the directive that all redundant cable connections should be capable of being lighted within 24 hours in the event of outage on their primary links. All the network operators complied, and MTN is connected to the ACE cable, WAX, and Main 1. Telecel is connected now to SAT3, WAX, and the ACE cable. AT is connected to Main 1 and ACE. However, in their case, they are connected to the WAX cable through the West African Ocean Company, WIOC, in Nigeria. So in addition to the 2 cables that they have in country, they are connected to a third one, which is providing services through Nigeria. And so not only did AT Ocean Company, WIOC, however, in their case, they are connected now to SAT3, WAX, and the ACE cable. AT is connected to Main 1 and ACE. However, in their case, they are connected to the WAX cable through the West African Ocean Company, WIOC, in Nigeria. So in addition to the 2 cables that they have in country, they are connected to a third one, which is providing services through Nigeria. And so not only did AT comply, they went further to establish and maintain a physical connection to an external submarine cable provider that did not land in Ghana. They acquired this additional service from WIOC through the WAX cable, as I have indicated. And this provides connectivity from Nigeria also through the Equiano cable. As a result of this, at the height of the outage, AT had a better service while the other MNOs had degraded services. Also, at the time of the outage, MTN had provisioned a separate 70 gigabits per second capacity over the WAX cable to Nigeria. And this facility was used to maintain a minimum local cash exchange with the internet community as well in Nigeria, and was repurposed for partial MTN internet data services when all 4 subsea cable providers in Ghana had complete outage on Thursday. Preliminary findings and further investigations of this fault have revealed that the fault occurred due to external incidents that resulted in cuts on the submarine cable systems in the Atlantic Ocean, offshore Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal along the coast of West Africa, and Portugal. The subsea cable landing service providers have remotely identified the approximate locations of the damage, and they've made preparations to dispatch repair vessels to the locations for physical assessment and restoration.
Inti Asla Awusuno no say, and their friend Parliament, Omba Chichim, Adekudientia, a year internet problems na aba Ghana na aba any wire some of the telecommunication companies no it is 80 and I say formerly called Airtel Tigo and Airtel Tigo Glow enya better internet than omo maka MTN and Telecel ne omo maka and also and then there also motiasie 84 no omo no de arekodienti omo internet ni gina so no say 8 year you say and the Ghana turn $1 omusika sem nyina say no oh omo de omo fa omo internet ni free Nigeria baby a MTN mo fa no any baby a Telecel mo fa na cable no yakotwem submarine bi yakotwem no Airtel for and say 84 no ATT go Glow for no omo de omo fa no ho sa cable no omo mfem omo de omo ne Nigeria company bi wo deal bi a omo fa omo de omo fa omo internet no efa Nigeria kofa baby enti at the end of the day no Asla be catch parliament to say 80 nansiamu yeton ye yesi omunika preda ho yeton no $1 every say omudwumadie no asay na sa 80 no esi abe Ghana for dia a yeton $1 no sesi an ya beti ase se 80 no ana 80 eye Airtel no Airtel Tigo friend 80 sesi ano omo de bebia MTN cable a MTN fem and as a fiber optic cable na that tube na MTN Telecom omo nyina fem ekopie de Ccom edge internet ba Ghana so omo dadada nyina 80 de omo mfa hobi na 80 na omo ni kapre no omo de omo tumi ne Nigerian company bi an negotiate e na omo wura Nigeria na omo kofa e de ko fa internet ne ba en nintina eye 80 eye Airtel Tigo former 80 former Airtel Tigo no and the omo internet ni gina so. Okay. Okasa we no Sam George so ekasa our parliament in reaction to Asama Aslakan.
Mr. Speaker, I hold the view that we are where we are simply because the regulator that works under the minister failed to do their job. The responsibility rests with the regulator. This is not about another country and force majeure. A regulator doing its job would have put in place the mechanisms and the redundancies that would have allowed us to be prepared for this instance. Mr. Speaker, the cut happened off the coast of Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire was the most impacted country on Thursday. As we speak today, Cote d'Ivoire's recovery is ahead of Ghana, simply because their regulator had put in place the right mechanisms. In the case of 80, and if you ask what Cote d'Ivoire is doing, they're using Move, the Move operator cable. They've immediately allowed all the other operators to piggyback on Move. When you speak about the success of 80, 80 is simply able to carry traffic because they have redundancy using the Nigerian link. But is that not supposed to be a prerequisite for all the other operators in the country? Who is supposed to monitor that? It is the regulator. So if the regulator has slept on his job, and today we are found in this position, and then we want to raise our hands up in the air and say, oh, other countries that were affected have recovered and are recovering faster than Ghana because their regulators are proactive. Our regulator today is competing with the Ghana Chamber of Telecom. The Ghana Chamber of Telecom serves the interest of the telecom companies and is their advocate. The Ghanaian regulator is supposed to be the advocate for the rights. The NCA, the National Communications Authority, is supposed to be the advocate for the rights of Ghanaian citizens and customers. The 4 updates that have been put out by the NCA are simply mirroring the statements of the Chamber of Telecom. They don't tell us what remedial actions by way of regulatory policy are being put in place for the Ghanaian customer. They're only telling us what the problems are. That is the language of the regulator. He is going to tell you what the problems are. I am expecting the NCA to tell me what the solutions are, not what the problems are, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
so this is Sam George. Also, responded to Osla Seminole. Thank you, Mr. S. Okay, so I say, asem we see Cote d'Ivoire, close to Cote d'Ivoire, na asem we see Cote d'Ivoire na affect you seriously, and so in a few days, Cote d'Ivoire to me a movie channel no to another channel. I mean the Cote d'Ivoire for internet stability no better than us. And I know catch Asla say Asla. Why now can what's in Nigeria for a year 84 no line no de akoto Nigeria. Nigeria company bi na ye adwuma. Also tia say a year NCA na Ghana no say di dwuma ye a. Anka enden kadie we see no anka ye wo another line we could have fallen onto. Anka sa problem we NC. Inti Sam George catch and say 80 na wotia catch ende. Say sa 80 no ende yabehu say 80 no sa eye cable na eda form na omu nyina fam no 80 mfemu bi ene na the most important thing I was here tiase. Ende aslo so be ya betiase say eba cable na ekofa internet wa abrochire Ccom ho no baby a MTN fa baby a Telecel fa ewa purim na eye Samari kotwe mu no sa eye baby a Samari kotwe mu no sa area ho no Asla say 80 and I say eye Airtel Tigo no enye ho no fa na emom no omofa Nigeria enom konyo supply ba. That's fine. Now stick Stay with me. Me unya de kitu ebi. Near to Chroma. But and then no because why don't you know say Glow is part of Airtel? How many Ghanaians and a KCC say Glow is part of Airtel? From the day I can say I talk Airtel $1. Now Airtel Tigo omuniska inti aban etua omuka omode ama sebio 80 and your friend Airtel Tigo abe dia. When was the last time I want to say Oslo Wusu Kasa one mentions say, oh, even our partners Glow they are doing this or we have this with them because we were all here and in 2023 and yehu sadi way Glow directs customers to select state-owned Airtel Tigo as network provider. We are 2022 and Glow beka chere say omo directe omo customers nyina say sesiano omo nko subscribe to the Airtel Tigo. This is 2022. Ne atia ne enim de ekọ. Enti chere de be hu say eye Airtel Tigo any Glow or partnership. Right? Enti when be hu say Glow any Airtel akomutia boom. Into at that point, Airtel Tigo Glow was one company. Because, so read this story now, mobile network operator Glow has entered into a nationwide national roaming arrangement with state-owned Airtel Tigo for voice, data, and SMS services as part of efforts to provide wider coverage and faster internet experience for its customers. As part of the partnership, all Glow customers will automatically latch onto the Airtel Tigo network by April 23rd, 2022. Intinia waha, and omkachere say, moye eye Glow customers you automatically be moved onto Airtel Tigo. Inti the reason is say not almost per se Airtel Tigo provided some services to be a wider subscribers. The coverage should be more bigger. And technically, what we heard here, nature say Glow and Airtel, they were partners. But for some time now, I've never heard Osla talk about 80, which was Airtel Tigo Glow, and mentioning even Glow in any of her conversations. For some reason, she had stayed away from mentioning the name Glow in any of her interviews. But even though we knew that 2022, we were told to say Glow and Airtel Tigo, they have come together to form a partnership. From that time ever since there, it looks like say the Glow part of the negotiation when Airtel Tigo Glow was moving to 80, the Glow part of the conversation was kicked out. Nobody mentions Glow. Asla never mentions Glow. In fact, anytime Asla speaks on Airtel Tigo moving to 80, she basically always says, 80, a government owned 100%. Mebo audio sa onwanka se kase. Airtel Tigo Glow. Later, Ghana tour Airtel Tigo Glow Ghana DNA change dini and 80 Asla kano on countless occasions say, Sa Airtel Tigo na Glow na ye toy na bedan 80 a government of Ghana 100% owned. That means no private entity has a share in what we call 80. Unless I'm not making sense. Then it means to say, because so many times that us Latsa TV so I can say nobody has shares in 80. A purely 100% Ghanaian. So the question you keep asking yourself and say, after the sale of Airtel Tigo Glow, where did Glow go? Did Glow disappear into thing? Did they just fizzle out? Because at least there was a partnership between Airtel Tigo Glow. Say you could talk Airtel 1% to cry. At least Glow is supposed to have maybe 20 cents because they are our partners. It does not matter the kind of partnership. As far as we have some partnership with them, Glow should have a percentage or a quota in the shares of 80. So the question we want to ask is, say, how is this, for all these years, whenever Asla gets the opportunity to speak about 80, giving us the history, how it moved from Airtel, Tigo, Glow to 80, there has never been a day she has spoke on Glow's role in the new takeover. Because as we sit here, we want to know, Glow, were they paid off? Did we pay them off? To say, the partnership before we bought Airtel, Tigo, and Glow, at the end of the day, because we're paying off the shareholders, we are paying you two off. We want to know. It's a simple question we're asking. And if we didn't pay Glow off, then it means that Airtel, and I say 89, Glow has a majority share in it. And when Glow partnered Airtel, Tigo, what was the shares of Glow? The reason I'm asking these questions, and then they say, 80 as we speak today, a government owned, and yet individual be there, a Ghana for there. We need to know why there was shares were 80 because many were shares were 80. Glow was shares woman because Glow were partners. Did they pay Glow off before they changed the name into 80? These are basic things that we are asking. And now there's somebody in the 80 who is making about 80% of the money. And we as a nation, we are making just 10% or 20%. We want to know because as a government, as a nation, we cannot have a company that we have been told belongs to us 100% and that there is a shareholder in there we don't know. So the clarification here is, was Glow paid off? Now remember, this is Osler. This is Osler Owusu. This man is called Mike Odenugu. I need to get the name right. I don't want to pronounce somebody's name wrongly. His name is Mike Adenuga. Mike Adenuga. Ordinary, the chairman of Glow. Glow, this is the second richest man in Nigeria. Ordinary Glow Yenedia. Your friend Mike Odenugu. This guy on the company Glow, a partner, Airtel Tigo, before the takeover by government. So I want to ask, this man is a very influential man, very rich. He has operated in Ghana before. Glow, what Ghana and India. So we want to ask, Mr. Odenugu Mike, do you have shares in 80? Because after the partnership or merger of Glow and Airtel Tigo, we didn't hear anything again. Whether Glow was paid off or Glow voluntarily dashed Ghana, whatever it had as shares or it through the merger. We just want to know, is Glow still part of 80? This man is a very, very good friend of Asla. Very, very good friend. This man, in fact, has been in the telecommunication business for a very long time. When we are talking about people who have technicalities, knowledge on how to operate a telecommunication company, these are one of the people you cannot omit. He has been there. He has experience. When you talk about telecommunication losses, he has been there. Telecommunication, making money, he has been there. Maneuvering and making sure the market does not stress him, he has been there. He is a telecommunication giant. He knows where to step to make money and he knows where to step to make losses. That's why I'm asking, Mr. Odenugu Mike Jr., are you still, or do you still have shares in 80? Because Asla keeps telling us that 80 belongs to Ghana 100%. That's one. Now, and the Asla bar a year of a parliament, Obeka in Sembebri. And today our concentration is just going to be on 80 Kakrebi. Me say I will do a full expose on this. And then you will know Kronoa Asla Owusu Ebo Ghana. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures, right? Maybe show some names. Now, maybe show a graphic how this whole thing, Osla Owusu and Glow are making money out of 80. Osla Owusu is making not less than over $2 million a week when it comes to internet transfer using 80 as a conveyor belt. There's a specific reason here, Osla. From 2021, Ebesin there, still, we have not gotten a strategic investor or 80. Still, we say na investors in the Baba also a konkonho, ye ni omudin komo. Deliberate because see, I can say 80 nya investor, 80 is working. And you and I are say all along, and they say 80 is not working, 80 is bankrupt. No, 80 is able to buy data through Nigeria. Last week, Bekachira say, it might be Nigeria. It might be somebody working with Osla. It might be some people making crazy money. So it's 80, and I say 80 now. I say Airtel to go say we own $1 now. Is it a conduit? Is it a router? Some people deliberately have decided not to allow any investor to come in so that they can do their private business with 80. Because as we speak today, 80 is worth $1. We never knew say 80 AS. Remember, last week Mekacha said 80 is AS, the autonomous system. You can say your autonomous system. One can out to me koto data every CCOM. We didn't know. So if you are a car owner, then they'll be catch them say they be on them form because we never even knew this guy had a car, but they be on them form. There is a reason why he's not driving his car. So if 80 is an autonomous system, whereby a CCOM recognizes them, say they are a big network that can purchase internet from them directly, then 80, it's not bankrupt. Then it means somebody is financially fueling 80 behind the scenes, using 80 as a conduit to make money. So Glow in Nigeria is working. Glow in Ghana has been shut down. Ask yourself why. Glow in Nigeria works nicely. Glow in Ghana has been shut down. But before Glow in Ghana was shut down just this January, they made sure that all their customers latched on to Airtel Tigo. Before Osla Owusu said, Airtel is bankrupt, Ghana government is buying it for $1. Meaning, Ghana government bought Airtel Tigo Glow as one and changed the name. So Glow, we are asking, what was their shares in this transaction? Make sure Kronua Osla Owusu Elbomo. This one in 20 years still Osla can stand trial and answer questions. Osla can sit in front of a commission and answer questions. Now, here you see this. You better start here, baby. You better do baby. Now, let me show you this picture. One picture on the screen is no. Don't get confused. Follow my voice. You will understand. Now, Osha Esrade, Hurricane Electric Internet Services. That is another company, AS, a autonomous system. Almost so eto data every CCOM. You're from Hurricane Electric Internet Services, almost UK, a United Kingdom company. Now just follow the three colors: red, blue, and green. Now, red na the red no, and then 80 Airtel. The blue is Glow, and no a friend a Dolphin, and a green no, and a friend no Hurricane. Now, I'm sure I did. Red one no, last Rebecca say 80, which is Airtel Tigo now Ghana say $1 no. It is an AS, meaning it to me call CCOM ekoto data at the bank. Obet me krampo aton data no, meaning financially they are very strong. Now, when we said there are two lines, Ushe line bakwa e wasroa eko all the way to the green line. And your one line bakwa e wa forma e connect it all the way to the green line. Now let's focus on the line now connect it from the top. Now on say red one I circle now and then 80 Airtel. Uhe blue one now and no a dolphin company din no, but from our investigations no, that dolphin no represents Glow. And no na asla jina parliament and on person beka or use word be. Or use word be your friend is say or say. Mami read the part in show. Okay, say you do I would make me read this part. I'll put it on the screen for us to read. Then you can follow. Ain't it sa the American who blue box no number na woman here AS 37613 and then a dolphin. Ain't you fan say but could be a station into a 84 station in red. Dolphin for station no any blue. And a year hurricane for no more UK no almost station here green. You catch a station a no cable no station no. Now when we say between 80 and Glow and a dolphin no, there is this black arrow, short arrow. That short arrow no, it is a pipe. And no NSA cable na a internet cable no, fiber optic cable no, and then a free 80 edico Glow for the dolphin station. What you say? On red line, on say black arrow be or short one be or that arrow no a cable and then a connect 80 Airtel to go from Ghana to a Glow station a friend dolphin station no o check AS number na because a dolphin but behind the scenes no a Glow and then a connect 80 and Glow into the feed na 80 enya internet connection in no a through Glow. Now on say from a blue no from the top a line no so top line no kwa koko see green line him so that green line no that green line no company na a ne spot no your friend no hurricane. We believe say Glow works with hurricane. That's what we believe. In Tesia the nyina be hu say a 80 they have a cable, they have a pipe that they have connected from 80 in Ghana to Glow in Nigeria, which has the name Dolphin, right? And I'm picking our route all the way to Hurricane Green. And Nintina time a yini accident Airtel was still working. They were still working because line na MTN film, Telecel film, any other networks in film no. Airtel was not going or AT was not going through that. And then us like kind of parliament and say they are going through a company in Nigeria, but she didn't mention. Or say West African ka Obwa, that is not it. They are going through Dolphin. Dolphin is owned by Eddie Mike. We believe from our investigation say Dolphin and Hurricane is owned by Mike. And I'm going to show you something. Now, I say, Mami minimize this. So this thing I just showed you, when you go on the Hurricane, when you go on their website, it is there. And now had here on some about 80, and then I to go Ghana, and I'm about Dolphin, and then you see 84 edgy internet in free of echo display. Remember, 80 AS, a autonomous system. They can buy data themselves, buy and sell. And a Hurricane, no, and the UK company that the route gets to. From 80, it goes to Dolphin. It goes from Dolphin, it goes to Hurricane. Hurricane will buy it from Seacom and they will return it back to 80. A reverse. Hurricane for almost internet free. And then Seacom. Almost reverse internet not about Dolphin, which belongs to Glow. And then Glow will hand it over to 80. But we have been told that 80 is bankrupt. 80 was bought for $1. And that 80 is not capable of doing these things. But for some reason, now we know that a pipe has been built from AT in Ghana to Dolphin, which is Glow in Nigeria. Who funded that? Who basically funded this? Because I know Mr. Mike, he's a big man, he's a billionaire, he's got money. He can fund this. He can basically fund that route all the way to the UK. He can build that pipe. He has the money. He can connect with Hurricane to do that. My question is, who built that pipe between AT and Glow from Ghana to Nigeria? Who funded that? Because for some time now, we have been told that Mr. Mike Adenuga has shut down the Glow station in Ghana. Yaka say shut down the Glow station in Ghana, meaning Dolphin now who knows it was the Glow station and we change denying a Dolphin. It technically they are working with Glow. Into data na us Parliament and person bebo company ni dino. The company station a Glow. AT is working effectively. Now, the question here is Dolphin, a company bang. Okay, yes, a Dolphin, a Nigerian company. Now let's go behind the scenes. Let's go and see who owns Dolphins. A Nigerian, a Ghanaian, a British, and who is the person who owns Dolphins? Now see. This is Dolphin Communication Limited. Now, let me show you this first. This is Dolphin Communications Limited, right? This, when you go into the UK registry, archives or registry log or catalog, whatever, they have every company that has been registered in the UK there. So you can access who owns this company, who registered it, who is the person behind it. Is it a big company? Is it a small company? You can access it. So when we did our checks to check Dolphin's company, we realized it was registered in the UK. The Dolphin company now, Osla say 80 is working with almost 6 hour pipe between Ghana and Nigeria now. Data and a honey free bano. They are a Nigerian company. Now I'm sure I did. When we saw the way, 2007, there is a man called Francis I want to try and get the right names for you. In fact, let me write it here. Senabe Amirin to me Fidino. I'm trying to get you the right names so that misrepresent you. The name is quite a tricky name. Right. I want to write the name down. Name, come out. Okay. The DNA de Lawiki. I'll spell it for you. Lawiki Thomas Francisek. Okay. So you see this company. You have started here for 2007. We are now trying to find who is the owner of Dolphins, right? Now, company where your friend Blue Wave IT Solutions Limited. It is based in the UK. It is based in the UK. The owner, Nippani be a company, 2007. And Obi a company, Nippano, your friend, Lewiki Thomas Francisek. The company was dissolved 29th March 2007. You dissolve a company, Oguno. The address, don't forget the address. 6 Street, Catherine Street, Carmarthen Wales, SA311RE. So this company, a nipa we friend Francis Thomas, no, Obie, no, or a British citizen. 2007, Enna Ogu company, no. Now, 2009, also be another company, your friend, no, Afon Wales Limited, company number in the on 06817366. Also dissolving company, no. 12 of February 2009, and they appointed as the director, nationality British, country of residence Wales, and also dissolve a company, no, after 2 years. Now, about 2009, this same person, Blue Wave Internet Limited, company registration number 075052222, Obi a company, and or resign here, and it dissolve a company, no. Company, a friend Blue Wave Internet Limited, and also appointed 25th of January 2011, or resigning in 2015. That company too was dissolved. It was Nipano Obie company na Obey director, Obey Ebiwa IT consultant, Obey director or company na acha 2 years no dissolve a company no. This particular person, Luiki Thomas Franceschi, check the British record moi. Obie company na acha 2 years. Onunkwana director, Obi Ankano. These are big companies, in the name, you know. Acha 2 years no dissolving no. Ebia, I don't know, maybe it was tax issues or I don't know. Now, 2012, Blue Wave Concilium Limited, company number 808749927. Or dissolve sa company no. Now oyedian, you appointed in 2012. Check the company address, the same address. Lane Omari, Ferdlande, Dalwen, Dien, Carmarthen in Amekaipa, SA32BRG. He uses the same address, the same street address, the same information, but every 2 years he will dissolve the company. It's in the UK. Dolphins. I don't know if a glow, no. All right. Now, Oba Bedu 2012. Celtic Mast Limited, company number 082611473. Company status dissolved. Technical director, you appointed in 2012, and he dissolved a company, no. The same person, when you follow his company track record, these are companies he's worked for, and they have all been dissolved. So it looks like the company is open for specific reasons. And check. After 2 years, 1.5 years, the company has to be dissolved. Now you go to 2014. This same Luiki Thomas Franceschi. Okay. Franceschi. Osabie Simlo Sanila Limited. That company too was dissolved. This is 2014. Remember, Dolphins Telecom is a cable landing station in Accra and Lagos. It is owned by African Coast to Europe, ACE Submarine Cable. So they are based in Accra and they are based in Lagos. Who owns it? Or who owns them? Dolphin Telecom, making, is a cable landing station in Accra and also in Lagos. It is owned by Africa Coast to Europe, ACE Submarine Cables. They are the ones who own that Dolphins. Now, when you go to 2015, this same guy opens Dolphins Communications Limited. 09606268. It is active from 2014 till date. From 2014, yeti Dolphins Communications Limited as an AS. It will transport data. 80 and Airtel Tigo. From 2014 till date. This particular company has not been dissolved. Inti Ubasha. This is Francis Thomas Franziki Lewicki. And this is his total number of appointments. 9 appointments. He was born 1982. You could see this gentleman has worked with companies. 2 years before the company dissolves. By 2014, obey a part of Dolphins. The company has been stable to date from 2014. Until you ask yourself, hey, so what at all and the Tuama company we Gina till this point? I don't know. You also don't know. Now, when you go deep, now say Oshe Dolphins company, no, you will see say Lewicki Thomas Franzisk, one officer, one person, and baby, your register company no, a second floor. 4 Hall Street, Carmarthen, United Kingdom, SA31. The same address. Thank you. Into check company now. This is the Dolphin Company. It was registered in the UK, 2nd floor, 4 Hall Street, Carmarthen. This Carmarthen Street, this particular street, and company Abrante Oye Jumenina, the same address, the same street door, the same building. Okay. He is the director. It is active now. He is the director. It is active. He was born 1982. Appointment 2015. Any appointment, no. Nationality British. Country of residence Wales. Occupation technical director. From 2015, 2014, a take company in ABC 2024. Company no ensheki igina naso on resigning ye in dissolving no the company is working. Now look at another thing. Dolphins Communications Limited accounts March 31st 2023. For the first time, we were able to see their accounts, what is in their accounts. When you enlarge, you realize that the company are an AS, such a big company, dealing with bigger companies, you know. The asset of this company is not even more than £7,000. Into Dolphins Communications, registered number 09606268, balance sheet as of 31st March 2023. Check here, fixed assets. Check current asset 3,859 2023. 2022 was 40. 1 year 8,257. Total asset less current liabilities 4,000 to 7,000. Credit amount failing due after net liabilities £4,000. Capital and reserves 4,000. Average number of employees 1. 1 person works for this big company. This company now, it is basically working in Accra, Lagos, transferring data, big amount of data. They are not worth more than £5,000. And the funny thing is, there's only 1 person who works for this company. 1. It's only 1 person. So AT works with Dolphins and then Glow in Lagos and then to Telehouse in the UK. After what I say, AT, Dolphins, Glow, Telehouse in the UK. That is how AT is working. We didn't know all these things until Asla came to Parliament to tell us that AT wasn't going through the normal route MTN is going through. They are going through Dolphins, Glow, and straight to Hurricane and Telehouse UK for them to go to CCOM. So you can see clearly, say, AT or the AT Asla, they have different business. We don't even have an idea. And the people they are working with are people that we need to look deep into their business. Now, look at this. When you move further, you will see, say, this diagram will give you a clear understanding. Now, sir, when you go and track the company, our address in the UK, this is where the company is. This is where that company, Dolphins, this is the building they are in. They are above a boutique. The Dolphin company now 80 is working with. Yato cable, a cable connecting 80 to Dolphins, to Air Glow, all the way to Telehouse, through Hurricane. No, the Dolphins company, no, this is where their office is. It is above a boutique. Because the address that is registered, this is where the address takes you. And as we sit here and speak, Dolphins now it is on a street in the UK, where somewhere it is on this street, it is above a boutiques, because it is all like it's a market street. And this is the company that Osla or 80 is dealing with. My question here is 80 dealing with this company, the question I want to ask and say, right now we know say 80 AS. The last time I showed you from CCOM, CCOM website, they clearly stated there, say 80 is an AS, it's an autonomous system, so they are big. Right now we've come to the conclusion from Hurricane, who are also part of the chain when they are doing their transferring data back and forth. It's a reverse system now. What happens is say 80 is working with Dolphins. Dolphins is working with Glow. Glow is working with Hurricane. Now we have come to the realization, say Dolphin, the person behind it, it's a little sketchy. We leave it there. We want to ask a simple question. If 80 is an autonomous system, the question here is, who is funding 80? Second question, is Glow still part of 80 as a partner? And the third question is, how did 80 come up with the money to build that pipe between 80 and Dolphins? That goes to Glow and to Telehouse UK. I don't want to believe that it is deliberate, that ASLA and the NCA, they have deliberately decided not to make any partners come, anybody to come and invest in 80, because maybe they are using this as a money laundering channel. I am asking. I am not concluding, because we are still investigating. We are still in talks with the British authorities. We want to ask, say, is it possible, say, some Ghana government agents in Pennyfort to say ASLA money NCA boss mono, the reason why they don't want to talk about Glow in this mix, or the reason why they don't want to allow anybody to come and invest in 80 is because they are using 80 as a conduit to be moving money in millions, because being an AS or autonomous system provider, it means you have a lot of money you are moving back and forth, buying data, sending and bringing it back. You can also sell data to other subscribers. So the question is it the say Aslamo, they are using 80 as a money laundering channel, conduit, routes, to be taking money from Ghana and using 80 as a smoke screen? It's a simple question. I am not saying that any of these people are involved in money laundering, but as our investigation goes on, we've come to understand, say 80 is just $1. Their assets right now they have, it cannot be an AS. It cannot buy data independently and sell. So we are asking, say, who is behind 80 being able to build that pipe that is very expensive from Accra to Lagos, or from 80 to Lagos? We want to know, does 80 have any contractual agreement with Dolphins? Does 80 still have partnership agreement with Glow? Where did 80 come up with the money to build the pipe between 80 and Dolphins or Glow? Where did they come up with the money? Till date, we have not received any information from the government of the day through the ministry or NCA whether 80 has made money, because as we speak, Asla Owusu has continuously said that no investor has completed a deal with Ghana when it comes to 80, meaning the $1 and the assets they came to meet are still the same. So where is 80 making all these monies to be buying data and having this connection with these people? These are simple questions. We have tried to access the British government to give us full detail on this Dolphin company. We are also going to be asking about the Hurricane company, which next week I will let you know who are behind hurricane. But at this point, our concentration is on the Ghana government, the minister, and also NCA. Is AT still in partnership with Glow? Because continuously, Osla has told us that AT is 100% Ghanaian owned. So we want to know, does Glow have shares in AT? We also want to know, if AT is AS, autonomous system, how are they making money to be buying data and going through Nigeria all the way through to Telehouse to Seacom? Who is funding it? Is AT making some money that we don't know? Because as we speak today, AT is a government property. Every government needs to know. Every citizen needs to know. Say, AT, are we benefiting or we are losing? I can't give too much because we have sent an email. We have gotten correspondence from the UK government, the people who are in charge of these things. Anytime people say, are people using AT to do money laundering? I'm not saying anybody's doing it, but I'm asking the minister, I'm asking NCA, I'm asking the Ghana government. AT na esuwana yem pese eye obia ebe investi wo mu no. Amanfo bia sheda and omo pese AT no etna ho saa na behind the scenes no. Omo elanda money doing serious business behind the scenes. These are simple things. I've shown you diagrams. I've shown you the connection. I've shown you companies involved. I've shown you where it ends. And I've asked simple questions. We are still working with the British authorities. Our job here is to get to the bottom. Our job here is to let Ghanaians know whether AT is being used as a money laundering platform. Where AT is getting its money from. Is AT or Glow still part of AT? Because the minister on countless occasions, she told us to say, AT is 100% Ghanaian owned. Ladies and gentlemen, these are important things. When we start to work like this, we don't work alone. We work with other international journalists, investigative journalists who want to help us. We pay. They are going to delve. They are going to give us what we need. We will just put it side by side with what we have in Ghana. We will let you know whether AT is $1 as we have made to know, or somebody for the past 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, has been milking the nation illegally by telling us that AT is a Ghanaian company that was bought for $1. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. After this short break, we will continue.
You torn 10 million, you torn 120 million, and then you san ba beto Airtel to go now for $1. Nya $1 a share. The entire company was sold to government for $1.
Oh, how name sent you say I'm baby. Na asa ono company be good be communications be near their brow.
Inti ya die yi.
Inti say no.
Ya die yi.
Is it not quite interesting say
Atom abanya ho faso.
Western na egu ye na be Airtel and na say egu wo say abeginem. Say this thing about $1 as you say yes say Ulipo crowd board didn't say $1. Inti enim say $1. Eden pa ni say $1.
Mergers and acquisitions won't tiasia na bisa sa question. Inti mesre. Where are simple won't tiasia obisa ni amount.
Say min tiasia inti na mi bisa.
Wo de minim so tiasia pa na obisa ma almost.
There be min tiasia. Mergers and acquisitions so kwara min teda.
Yo.
Inti to aso.
Say company will assets e will liability.
No correct.
Osha assets of Airtel Tigo is here $1 billion. One liabilities in Sube $200 million. Into wo sisia na positive side we grab $800 million. Na nonko. Into nya no ho enya assets and liabilities na sem na ye kan. Ye ton shares no. Company ni shares na ye ton. Into omo shares ni ye omo dia no. The shares come with the total package. Shares near ton nearma a woman it is a maton dino. A dino may ton 3. Ne moon near money dear, Nina Ekan. Shares nana, omo conise. Omo de, literally omo de mark by. Nen can your omo pe, se woman cona banisa. nanso omo wa reshem sa ban betumi aso company no mu no mo asiesie ma na ye na omo hwe aban we nso track record a wo hwe kufuo time yotumi fa an investment of $10 million SSN within 2 years enya $120 million from the same investment to and you the way my enso so a ye betumi afa company no na temporary challenges no omo wo mu no ya dan no ne asiesie ye ni ye enti literally goodwill aban wo enti na omo kan say munsom ye de mamu enti literally omo de mayen for free now kaya time Anglo Gold Ashanti ye close ne down kra omo ko ye omo san decide say okay oni omo de bema aban no waye ahe na aban tu aye one their jobs are secure ti omo de omo nkoso anya adwuma na sesi ade nye India fo ne say South Americans no mo ye adwuma ma wo omo ye adwuma ma Ghana
and say Ghanaian management
currently largely Ghanaian management
in free him
nothing has changed
the old management
now and the woho going forward we're still discussing whether top management no a few changes will be made at the top.
Ain't your best state owned?
It is state owned currently.
100%.
100%. All the shares are owned by government of Ghana.
Problem in it said government has no business doing business. So you say abe eto go 100% state owned. You be floatibium. You say be tom will be for fraud. And now on my nankasana be running business.
Early days yet, Say emergency number. We needed to step in. We have stepped in. There was stabilization state phase. There was a company no cost why na jumana all ye na subscribers ne ya sure say o fra ni call they go through or use data na still obenya until we are stabilizing the company, dealing with its short-term problems now. Until near de be say a beton, see a be yusu, see a be go into partnership. Say ye the best is another thing no. That decision has not been taken. It
Savoda one shares any yemramu baby saying that to point to any law which says the need of the shares that they've acquired in any company in Ghana.
And how about the Airtel and Suni Tigo? And where are we now with that? Because I mean, him say, Aba intervening in that, no?
They're hanging in there.
But government expressed interest, say, you may take you over that company, no?
No.
So, what's happening with them?
Oh, that's not going about time, yeah.
Drew stage be in the negotiation. And I because say, that issue came, say, yeah, torn for just $1, I can't growing concern and all of that. Where are we now? And then the question,
they are operating as a going concern. So want to say, they're looking at alternatives to refinance the company into Omus. Abai Anton Etel Emma Ubia Abai Anton Etel Indianos Matizen and Williams Aton Etel Fine was Yanton. They've entered into a joint venture partnership
with Tigo.
No. With a UK firm.
Okay.
Hanam Investments. They've entered into a joint venture partnership. And no interest Yaton company. Nature say it's a Airtel 80.
Yes.
80 ewo. Ena wakwako hwehwe partner on any be adwuma bi ewo omodwuma kuo ni, which is also allowed. Because advance you nisika or the beba be she modwuma ni. Nti mo hwe kwan a mo befa so a mo benya sika e de aye modwuma.
Yes.
So they've entered into that partnership, joint venture partnership, and you seal. To Miss Ramo, and I'm can say a tone and so soon say and toy. Our joint venture partnership, no.
Edi partner no edi sika beba be share company nim. Omo equipment omo hia foforo.
Yes.
Omo was omo ye in nhyehyɛ ebeboa na omo adwuma no nso so edi mu. Omo ni 4G omo hia. Ne nyinaa ye significant investment a ɛwɔ sɛ omo ye. So literally sa joint venture partner yi ebeboa ama omo aye sa nhyehyɛ ni nyinaa. Na emom enkomo no ye ni wie conditions precedent the Bema sa joint venture partnership yi aye effective no. Omo wie.
Okay.
Until say ebe wie, mean to me see me bo enka say omo ne won awie nhyehyɛ ni nti that say no mo be hye adwuma no ase. That is where they are currently.
And that is workers are Airtel workers are 80 now still have their job.
They are still working. What to say you be a diwo omo mpeso omo ja adwuma ne de omo agya ko omo peso omo ye adwuma no omo te ho omo dan ho aye adwuma ko wo sesi abe hu se omo aye adwuma obi wo network ne so a network no wo fra enkwa na. It's still a good, they are still working. AT exists, it's serving its subscribers, but it is looking to grow its subscriber base. It needs to revamp its equipment and introduce new ones. It sought a partner on any becabo nomini na yet say juma. Nama 80 juma no etumpo.
Yeah. The other thing your ministry generally, make sure the communications ministry, because
partnership no 4 years ni yenya partner no. Hanan force the Indian company na fi UK buy still yeni omon finalize deal. 4 years we have not been able to complete that deal. They are playing on you. They are using that as a smoke screen and nobody business. By September, Obaba catch say, oh, omunya another investor into on nobody mano. So 4 years, AT is working for Asla and her friends. 4 years, they have not been able to sit with this company to say, we as a government, we want to partner you. No. 4 years, what at all are you doing? All right, we can pick phone calls and end today's show. You see a young student na o defend the idea when you say next week obey school. Obo kwasi test kon ni bi to. Yeah, any NPP for way Kevin tell her Jimmy for me my bomb bra. Next year ya obey school. Obey Jimmy way. We Jimmy. And internet sometimes I say you moving branch ye Jimmy a and will be catch up saying NDC and NPP. NDC and NPP, there's a vast difference between these two political parties. Difference in the song. Internal school now would me matama. I ask you, say now after a year, no, ain't be juma. Oh, your ban, I'm the test konechi, and a Kevin forget Kevin, or Jimmy for, or the dink of what I say. Who you school are, over to my chamber, baby juma. You don't have. All right. Hello, caller. Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, it's saying.
If you have a call.
Yeah. Dear me person me can say, and nema wa chirichiri mu as hungry sempa magana for. I was here trans in green hu pa. Oni. And then we esla pusha pa odigina ho a kwam se fakan e chirichiri ne nema on keka no na anwo ye pa. Na de ha me kra ne say. We company kesiye etisi musimu kwa koton $1. Saneka agunu no den na wamde condit bi atumwa sese no wo hwe diagram a wo de kire ya rotate black bi na hwe it means say if you are na ba another na esra no makoto free ho e de abre ya beto musumu si sa company ye etetigo no egu na enye mwanwa one street bi a wo show no London say o office no Enya first time we be a new. Osafo mafu, yes man say, onkoje busia bimra, kufo time. Ye tracy sikano, omkoje skano no mudi skano. Was in my, and a month with me tracy skano. I call a hairdressing saloon, America. check out with him. It is adi oya aye. Mama hama nyame boama NDC for my chutum papa so. Eme yet to say mercy ye no. Ye person gwe ye say sikane wo ho no ankrofo na fa no. E wo say etimi gi sikane nyina na edisi man. Kevin.
But that's a part. Thank you very much. Hello caller.
Go
ahead. Hello. All right. Hello caller.
Yes, sir. Kevin.
Kasamitio.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Again, as I made this, I'm sure Papa will do media with yes. In fact, they say I know. I did watch what TV. In fact, Yabo Abasi Pada and K. say, also will be a radio station. And also will be a friend said journalism school pa na wo chire Ghana journalism for no. Wo chire omo adwuma no mu ye pa because omo ni media ya di ye enoma mo hwehwe omo ye di omo de maye wo abontin nyina ye I say we aka say na we so I say enu kwansam ade wa chire de why ade ye papa fanya no show.
Thank you very much. All right, I appreciate this. Hello caller. One of the lines